Tyson Fury, Floyd Mayweather, Canelo Alvarez. Just hearing these names makes you think money and the hundreds of millions of dollars, pounds or Saudi riyals in boxing. But that's at the top. At the bottom, it isn't quite the same. Even for those on the rise, there's not an awful lot of cash in the boxing world. And if you're just starting out, well, it can be a very costly exercise indeed. But don't take my word for it. Here's the former European champion, talkSPORT's Spencer Oliver.
You're turning professional and you're boxing, let's say, York Hall on a non-televised fight. You have to sell tickets to earn any money, but you have to cover the wages of your opponent as well. So if you don't have the ability to be able to sell enough tickets, you effectively have to pay to fight.
A far cry then from Jake Paul facing Mike Tyson in 2024, when the purse was reported to be around £48 million. But the vast amounts of cash lining the top dog's pockets isn't the norm in a typical fight.
Let's say you're lucky and you get between 5 and 10 grand. You're going to get 10 grand max for that. 10% goes to the trainer, 25% goes to the manager. Then we've got the tax man to pay as well. So we're cutting that money in at least half. So now you've got 5 grand for a 10-week camp. So you're talking about a guy here earning, he might be clearing 500 quid a week. How do you support a family on that? So boxers chase the dream. And, you know, there's probably 2% of them that actually make it.
So say you do make it and you start to rise up the ranks. Strikers Boxing, a training academy, says the mid-tier fighters can earn more, somewhere between £10,000 and £50,000 a fight, depending on record, profile, opponent and popularity of weight class. It's only at the top level does the real cash start flowing in, with the top-tier professionals, i.e. those going for titles, earning 6 figures a fight. Something else you'll have heard of is the terms prize fighter or journeyman. A prize fighter is, as it sounds, someone who picks up fights where they can and gets a nice big check if they win. Journeymen are the fighters who take on up-and-comers, effectively used for experience in the ring. Even if they're going up against the real prospects, a young Anthony Joshua, for example, these guys will be lucky to earn more than 10 grand. So the average boxer isn't as rich as you'd think.
Good morning, 6:05. Tuesday, the August the 19th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with Arnold Clark. Build your own car deal online or with a few clicks and make buying your next car easy. I'm Jeff Stelling, and I'm pleased to say reports of Alistair McCoist sleeping in have been proved to be absolute nonsense. Because here he is, absolutely bright as a button and on the nail at 6 minutes past 6.
Where did those reports come from, Jeff?
I don't know, Coisty.
I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous. You and I, as we know, that would have chat at the bar maybe about 11 o'clock last night and headed in our separate directions, and that was it.
Yeah.
Up bright and early, a nice shower. All of a sudden, Ollie's phone, and I said, I'll be there in a minute. And here we are.
Yeah. How much practice have you had of getting your clothes on that quickly?
Not a lot. Thankfully. Certainly not in the last 10 years or so.
Only 10 years?
Yes. I can categorically deny any knowledge of anything else. Oh, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm really good.
Good, mate.
Yeah, really
good form?
Yeah, really good form. Yeah, looking forward to the show, although I think it's going to be dominated by one subject, and that's the penalty that we're awarded with
Watched it.
with last night. Did you see it in the end? Yeah.
It's poor, isn't it?
Yeah, and it divides opinion, and I think that's the big thing, is nobody knows what the heck's going on anymore. You know, Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher, they both thought it was a a penalty. I think Dermot Gallagher doesn't think it's a penalty. Henry Winter certainly doesn't. I don't.
I don't either, actually.
No.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? I can see how it splits opinion. I get that. But nah, not for me, mate. Not for me.
No, I mean,
not a great game, though. Watched highlights.
If you're a Leeds fan, you're invested.
Oh, of course you are.
It was a great game, great start. I mean, that's the big thing. And you see what it means to people. I mean, Sam, the Leeds fan bin man, back on. Just a quick one to say, we are back. He goes on to say, clear penalty. He moved towards the ball with the ball far enough away for Tarkowski to not even chance having his arm near the ball. Well, he didn't have his arm near the ball, to be brutally honest, did he, Sam? But he asked the question, he said, have you missed it? Yes, is the answer, isn't it? Because Leeds heard the atmosphere, particularly in the first half hour.
Absolutely amazing. I mean, you heard Gary Neville talking about it. In fact, he's caused a little bit of debate already because he likened it to, what did he say, Ibrox and Anfield and places like that, which... Yeah, obviously I've sampled both of those. No, the atmosphere's fantastic. I've been to Leeds enough to know it's one of the best places. But it's great. I mean, you look at it, I must admit, there's part of me quite pleased that certainly two of the promoted sides have won their opening games, Jeff, as well.
It's great.
The last couple of years, with it's been the case where the three sides have gone down again automatically. I do hope, and I think this year we will see something different. So, I mean, it's very early, obviously, but...
Well, I mean, certainly my predictions, I went for, before the first game, Sunderland and Leeds to stay up. Leeds need to find someone to put the ball in the back of the net. I couldn't see where goals were coming from last night. Same applies to Everton, and Rich the Swindonian Evertonian has said, Ali, lace up the wee boots, pal. There's a 2-year deal on the table for a natural finisher at Everton. You can even have a lay-in all week. Just show up on the day.
Get me that contract, mate. Show me it.
I remember when Merce went to Portsmouth, and he was living in the Midlands at the time, and Harry Redknapp rang him and he wanted him to come to join him at Portsmouth. Merce didn't know where he was. So, where are you, Harry? And he said, I'm in Portsmouth, son. He said, nah. I said, no. I said, I'm not going down there. And he said, I've got my family and my kids in Birmingham. He said, can't be going down there every day. He said, look, son. He said, do this. He said, you turn up for training on Friday, play on Saturday. He said, you'll still be better than the rest. So,
you let him go down to Friday.
Yeah, so that was the deal.
Oh, brilliant.
That's Harry's man management for you. Absolutely sensational. So, as you gather, Elland Road, welcome back. Premier League football live on talkSPORT last night. And they picked up all 3 points in pretty dubious circumstances.
Comes to Stack, encouraged to shoot. He does shoot, takes a deflection. Did it hit a hand of Tarkowski? It might have done, That could be a penalty. He looked like his arm flew away. Yes, it's a penalty. And Leeds United have the chance finally to take the lead. 6 minutes to go at the end of the 90. Metcher, the new signing, steps up, right-footed into the corner. And Leeds United lead against Everton and finally have the breakthrough. It's a terrific penalty from Lucas Metcher. Elland Road was a major weapon for this club last season, and it's roaring again, and it's roaring to the sound of Lucas Metcher's first goal for the club. They needed more punch up front, and he's provided it at just the right time, and Leeds United finally lead against Everton by a 1-0.
Cool penalty from Lucas Metcher as well, making his debut for the club. I mean, he's not a renowned goal scorer. He'd only been on the pitch a couple of minutes, and that was his third touch of the ball. Brilliant bottle from him, and a clinical finish as well. Everton's Jake O'Brien, though, gave his thoughts on the penalty decision to talkSPORT afterwards.
I don't know what he's supposed to do. I mean, it's natural that he's put his body on the line, and I don't know where he wants to put his arm. It's literally behind him in a natural position. So I think they've took 5 minutes to look at it and they still couldn't see that it was a natural position, and there's nothing you can do about it, so it's disappointing. Yeah, penalty or no penalty, I think we weren't good enough tonight. We didn't create enough, and there was times where we just didn't look up to it. But look, the next game's coming on fast, so I think we got to just go back and train hard and be ready for the next one.
And the way it divides opinion, and two texts come in virtually simultaneously.
Yeah.
Simon says, "Morning, I'm a Liverpool supporter. I'm failing to understand how that was a penalty last night. What's he supposed to do with his arm? Take it off and throw it into the crowd? The officials are poor." But Guy in Worcester said, "Tarkowski didn't fall into the ball by accident. He leant to his left to try and block the ball. Had it not hit him on his arm, there would be no discussion." But you're allowed to lean, you're allowed to dive to block the ball. He didn't make himself artificially bigger,
That's what
did
I
he?
think. And I don't think there was any movement with the arm, specifically. You know, so that's where I don't think it's a penalty. But I think O'Brien hits the nail on the head, really. He said, penalty aside, he said, we're poor. I think that's from what I saw in the highlights, Jeff. You know, that's what I thought the overriding, you know, fact of the game from Everton's point of view would be. I mean, they've got to play a lot better than that. I'm not sure they'll be, you know, penalty aside, I think they'll be disappointed in the way they played.
Yeah, you know what worried me about it was not what worried me, because I had no skin in the game at all. But the referee clearly did not give that penalty.
That's my point.
Because there is a pause. He puts his hand to his earpiece. He's listening to somebody. I'm thinking, who is he listening to? And James Tarkowski afterwards said the linesman, who was 45 yards away, gave it. I'm not sure whether that's the case or whether it isn't. But what I am sure is if there's any doubt, why did the VAR not say to him, go and look at it on the monitor? I was bewildered that he didn't.
Mm-hmm. No, I think that's what it's there for. I don't know. I think there's maybe a fear from the officials. Clearly there's a fear to get it wrong, but I think sometimes rather than go over to the monitor, they probably will take the opinion perhaps of somebody else. Now, I think he's clearly listening to something or somebody. What they're saying, we probably will never know. But the fact he doesn't give it, what's making him give it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, again, you do wonder whether the officials were intimidated almost by the atmosphere, by the crowd, who are roaring for a penalty. Rightly so. If it's my team, I'm roaring for a penalty as well. But, I mean, Martin has texted from Lim and he says, if football's come down to awarding penalties such as that gifted to Leeds last night and for VAR to then confirm it, I am done. Let's hear from you this morning because it definitely divides opinion. There's no question about that, and I can completely see why. But Everton fans, are you more concerned with your performance, actually, than that penalty decision? After all the big build-up, you're into a new stadium at the weekend. What are your expectations this season? It won't be another relegation battle again, will it? Leeds fans, all 3 points, brilliant. But is goal scoring going to be an issue? Are you confident Dominic Calvert-Lewin is the answer? 03717 223344. Give us a call. Coming up, Shaban will be here to look at the back pages. Yeah, good bit of head-banging music from Deep Purple on talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist, and you're listening to that because Ian Gillan is 80 today.
No way.
80, isn't it incredible?
No way.
But
Ian Gillan. Now, answer this question. Did Richie Blackmore play with Deep Purple? I know he was Rainbow.
Yeah, I think he did, didn't he?
I think he did.
As well, yeah. But Gillan, well, they were great.
Brilliant at times, huh?
Obviously, Smoke on the Water, A Strange Kind of Woman, Black Knight.
Yeah.
This was a big day as far as musical birthdays were concerned. Ginger Baker.
No way.
Cream.
Yes.
I mean,
Ginger Baker, along with
passed 6 years
Clapton
ago.
and don't tell me, do not tell me, Jack Bruce.
Yeah,
Not bad.
Correct.
Yeah.
So he would have been 86 today. And if you're of my generation, Billy J. Kramer and the Dakotas, who were the Beatles era,
Yeah.
and they made things like Little Children and Listen, Do You Want to Know a Secret? And
You beat me there, I've got to be honest with you.
Brian, well, you remember Brian Epstein, the
Of
Beatles
course,
manager.
of course.
He was manager of Billy J. Kramer as well. So they were part of that big Merseyside revolution as well. It's his birthday today too. So just before we go on, the Leeds penalty. Interesting text here saying if he knocked the ball into the Leeds net the exact same way, would it have been disallowed or not? All the TV pundits said it was the correct decision. Hey, come on, Andy. If you never known Gary and Carrot to be wrong before,
I know.
Come on. I would say as a Leeds fan, how would you feel if that was
Given
given
against
your team?
I don't think it's a penalty.
No, I didn't think it was a penalty. I do understand why it divides opinion. And boy, by looking at the text, it really divides opinion. It's sort of 50-50 at the moment. But the one thing I don't get is why the referee didn't go and have another look at it.
Here's a question for you, right? See if it's 15 years ago. It's not a penalty.
Yeah.
We're not even having a discussion.
Yeah.
It's because the game's changed now. Nobody really knows what is a penalty, what is a penalty, not a penalty. That's why it's given. If it's 15 years ago, it's not a penalty.
Yeah, I completely agree. And, the problem is, one of the problems is that nobody knows what handball is anymore. It's become such a mess.
They've got to bring the word intent back into the law.
Yeah.
They've got to.
Would that have helped last night?
I see your point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it would. It would for me. It definitely would for me.
Yeah.
Because I don't think there's any intent to stop that with his hand or his arm.
I've got a feeling we might be talking about this between
Forever.
now and 10 o'clock.
Forever.
Very frequently. Anyway, right now, let's take a look. Oh, well, I know what's on these. Let's take a look at today's back pages with Tesco Mobile for Business.
The Back Page Review on talkSPORT with Tesco Mobile for Business. Got a side hustle selling clothes? Save in style with business phone bills for up to 40% less than the big three networks. For verification, see tescomobile.com/business.
And Shabana is back with us. Hi,
Morning,
A
Siobhan.
very good morning.
This is a horrible seat. This is the first time I've sat here.
What's wrong with that?
Well, it feels rude because if I'm talking to Jeff, I've got my back to you like that. I don't like this seat.
Look at you. You can move your neck without having to move your
Well,
whole
I can't
body.
really, 'cause I've got a bad neck, but you've got to.
This is why Brazil moved seat, wasn't it? Because he said he couldn't. He
Where
wasn't
are
able
you?
to
I
turn
didn't know that. Did he move seat?
one way.
Did Al kick up a fuss?
Surely.
This was years ago, Jeff.
Oh, years ago.
Has he been in here yet?
No.
I don't know.
He has.
And?
Yeah. He's fine.
You said with a twinkle in your eye.
He was fine. Back page of the Sun today, like you say, Tarkowski, Penn, Storm is one of the headlines in the Sun today. The Times is new boy Numcheka gets Leeds up and running with that penalty. Was it? Wasn't it?
What do you
Telegraph. No way.
That'll do for me, Shaban.
No way.
Yeah.
I mean,
No.
if you don't get it, I can't, Ali. And David Moyes, post-match, he's saying, yes, if you're saying your hand is leaning for it, but his hand's behind his back to avoid his hand being anywhere near it, he's fallen in that direction as well. But then he's like, I can't. Telegraph going for Chelsea 8-player exodus. I'll come to that in a second if we've got time. Back page of the Daily Mail, Leeds left off, and back page of the Guardian this morning, plundering the Palace. Tottenham closing in on Eze, signing as further talks held. So let's go to this other story that's going around today on Johan Wissa. Oh, social media, guys, don't you love it?
Not really.
Gary Stonehouse saying Johan Wissa's relationship with Brentford is turning toxic as he tries to force through a move to Newcastle. So Johan Wissa went on social media yesterday and deleted the club from his profile and deleted all of the pictures of him in a Brentford top.
Did he write na 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 underneath it?
My dad's bigger than your dad.
Was he blowing a raspberry at the time?
Honestly, yeah. Wissa's deleted all of the mentions and photos of the bees from his social media profiles. That's an ugly breakup. That's when you know, Jeff, it's off. When it happens on social media, that's when you know it's done.
But I would say, and I'm not defending him in any way, shape or form, that Brentford reportedly were asking 40 million for him, and now they're saying, okay, we want 60 million for him, thereby totally blocking any prospect of him moving. I think he's in his last year of his contract.
Right.
Doesn't want to stay, Let him go, get him out of the door.
If he's in the last year of his contract, they've got to take the money for him. I don't care. Yeah. They have to take the money for him. Get Isaac to wherever he's going to go. Hopefully Brentford can get a replacement in. That's the way it works. I mean, that's just simply the way it works. You don't want an unhappy player. Unfortunately, player power indicates, that's what they can do. They can get a move by shutting you off social media. This is what it's come to. But you can't have an unhappy player about. I mean, look at the Newcastle fans already with Isaac. Yeah. The Brentford fans, I'd imagine a lot of them will be the same with Visa, the way he's behaving. So
because it affects the fans, but they've got that relationship they feel with them on social media, and that love, he's posting in pictures in his shirt and whatever, and his celebrations, and then he takes them all off. It's like it's this hit at the fan base as well. Go on then. Ever unfollowed anyone on social media?
No.
You know that, Petty?
No.
Jeff?
Oh, yeah. Every single person who calls me a dinosaur immediately gets blocked more than unfollowed. Because generally speaking, I'm not following them; they're following me. And it's the people who come on and abuse you like crazy, but they're following you. Why are you doing it, guys? If you dislike me, that's your decision. But don't follow me. And then don't make me block you. Because I will. Call me a dinosaur. Blocked.
By the way, I wouldn't even know how you do it.
You are miles off it.
You're a dinosaur, Coisty.
Block him.
I wouldn't even know how to block. How do you block somebody?
I'll show you in a minute. Just there's a settings button, 3 little dots. You know the 3 little dots? Click on that. Block.
I wouldn't know your 3 little dots.
And then it means they can. You've probably not even checked your DMs in about 10 years, right? It'll probably be full.
Do you know what a DM is, Coisty?
Direct message.
Yes. Man's down with the kids. Man is down with the kids. So that down with the dinosaurs.
Oh, this is an education, this is, I'll tell you.
Oh, lots more on the way. Seriously, give me your phone. I need to sort this out.
You can mute people as well. If you want to.
Yeah.
Which is, to all intents and purposes, it's blocking them, but they don't then know that you've done it. Okay, so they can still be wasting their time sending you abuse.
So there'd be no point in doing it then, really. I mean, if Visa's going to mute Brentford, for example, there'd be no point in doing it because Brentford wouldn't know they've been muted.
But it's a statement to unfollow someone and delete pictures. That is a huge statement. That's done. That's done is done.
I just think that the difference here is that he's in the last year of his contract and Isak's contract till 2028. And this, and I'm not defending his actions, but, you know, this is a big opportunity for him.
Yeah.
Big opportunity, you know. I think he's 28 now, isn't he? Something like that. So.
Newcastle should just go and get Jackson. Get rid of Isak.
Yeah. I think that's a really good shout from a Brentford perspective, by the way. If you saw them play at Forest at the weekend, you know why they want to keep him. For goodness sake, they need all the help that they can get. It's one game. Sure. And I know before you say it, you know, before you start texting
Dinosaur.
me, you know, I know it's...
Any more of your lip and I'll delete your photos.
Thanks, Siobhan. That was a look at today's back pages. Well, sort of. With Tesco Mobile for Business. Coming up, it was 30 years ago today that Alan Hansen said you can't win anything with kids. What is Ali's worst ever pundit blunder? We'll find out next.
The Back Page Review on talkSPORT with Tesco Mobile for Business. Got a side hustle selling clothes? Save in style with business phone bills for up to 40% less than the big three networks. For verification, see tescomobile.com/business.
Who would have thought a sporting event's halftime show could have a bigger impact than the game itself? That seems to be the case with the Super Bowl halftime show. In 2024, Usher brought in an audience of 180 million worldwide, the biggest in the event's history. But how did singing and dancing get to be the centrepiece of America's biggest sporting event? The first Super Bowl was held in 1967. Initially, the halftime show was a display purely for the fans in the stadium, with marching bands, dancers and American patriotism for all to see. And that's what it was for the first few years. Disney had a go with a few questionable displays in the 1980s, but it wasn't until '93 that we got the first glimpse into the future of halftime shows. Michael Jackson's stellar performance gave NFL execs something to think about. A raft of massive names followed, including Diana Ross, U2, Janet Jackson, who gave us the most famous or infamous wardrobe malfunction of all time. So how many people are involved? To give you an idea of the scale, Rihanna's 2023 performance included 800 people, and experts reckon it costs $13 million. What's even more impressive than some of the names on the bill every year is the fact they do it for free. The artists know the exposure they'll get from doing the show will rocket them up the charts across the world. The Super Bowl halftime show will be a fixture in pop culture for years to come. So the question is, who next?
Good morning, 6:34. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling, Ally McCoist, and of course Arnold Clark. Get the UK's best used car deals guaranteed. Now, 30 years ago on this day in 1995, Alan Hansen made the statement, "You can't win anything with kids," after a young Manchester United team were beaten at Aston Villa on the opening day of the Premier League season. However, with a mixture of youth and some experienced heads like Eric Cantona, they went on to win the league and FA Cup double.
You can't win anything with kids.
Beckham is onto it quickly. Hitchcock backpedaling furiously. Beckham scores for Manchester United.
Erling Haaland will not live up to the expectation. I am so bored because he isn't the player that everybody thinks he is. If he scores 15, it would be a really good season.
Here's Haaland inside the area and scores. The ball broke to him inside the box and he caps a fantastic Manchester City display.
They're in for a whooping.
Arsenal have a corner as you join us, and it isn't Drab anymore because Gabriel has just headed the visitors in front.
If it clicks on Sunday, they're in for a whooping.
It's just who we are.
There is the full-time whistle. Victory on Spurs soil once again for Arsenal.
6:35, yeah, things that you wished you hadn't said. There have been plenty of them over the years, haven't they?
You better believe it.
I mean, you heard there amongst others, Jamie O'Hara, Rory Jennings. I mean, Alan Hansen was a fantastic pundit.
Big Al was magic, wasn't he?
Loved listening to it.
Big Al was great. He'd one of those voices you just enjoy listening to as well. Clearly very knowledgeable. Big Al, what a player as well.
Yeah.
What a great footballer.
But it's fair to say he got that wrong.
Oh, and some. Let's be honest about that, yeah, because they went on to, run it, didn't they, for about 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. So excellent team, that.
Absolutely. Look, I remember other predictions, such as Gary Lineker saying, if Leicester would win the title, he'd present Match of the Day in his pants. So
brilliant.
Yeah.
One that he was probably delighted to get wrong. Knowing Gary, obviously, his Leicester connections.
I mean, have you been involved in anything like? Can you think of a prediction?
Do you know something? Not
or anybody?
Not on the top of my head, Jeff. But there's no doubt I'll have got it wrong on numerous occasions, and the phone lines and that message board's about to light up. But off the top of my head, I can't really. But certainly got them. Have there been some wild ones? I can remember Rodney Marsh in your programme.
Oh yeah,
it was a belter, wasn't it?
Rodney was great. Because he was never afraid to go out on a limb.
Yeah.
Because you've got to have an opinion.
Of course you have.
And boy, did Rodney have opinions.
Oh, yeah, and good on him. Because we're the same. We were asked for our predictions at the start of the season, right? and with the greatest respect, we'll all have a bit of fun with it, and it's relative guesswork. Well, it is guesswork, because we're actually giving our opinions on who's going to get promoted, relegated, and the window's not even closed.
Yeah.
So, but it's great fun, and we've got to do it and continue to do it.
And Rodney wouldn't have been alone. He said, if you remember at the time, Bradford were in the Premier League and they were playing Liverpool. They had to beat Liverpool
I remember.
to stay up,
I
didn't
can
they?
remember it.
And Rodney said, if Bradford beat Liverpool and stay up, I will have my head shaved. And the following year, Bradford having beaten Liverpool and stayed up, the following year we packed Rodney off to Valley Parade, and in front of, I don't know, 20,000 people.
Brilliant.
He had his head shaved. Now, I have to tell you that he had been told that actually the barber who was doing it was just going to give him a sort of, a number 1 or whatever it is, so nice and short and neat and tidy.
He took a lot.
He didn't realise that it was going to be the full Monty, and he would be bald as a coot. I was worried for him afterwards, because without any hair, my God, he looks ill. So...
Well, I had that problem at barbers years ago. I had the opposite. I didn't look out of my head, just looked like a beach ball, man. I just looked like this big, massive 10-pin bowling ball. No, but I remember the Rodney one. That was brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it was great TV as well.
It was brilliant TV. And Rodney was outspoken, opinionated, but... He played the game. He was happy to go up to Valley Parade. He wasn't so happy when he came away from there, but he was happy to go and do what he'd committed to. I mean, I can remember another one, and people are going to be texting, and my texts have gone down at the moment, so I couldn't tell you whether they are at the moment or not. But people are going to be texting in, because when I was on Soccer Saturday, Kevin De Bruyne, flop at Chelsea.
Yes.
3 appearances. They sold him to Wolfsburg for £18 million. And he did okay at Wolfsburg.
Yeah.
13 goals in 50-odd games. Manchester City then came back, not with one offer, but with 2 offers. I think they offered something like 48 million for him. And then they went back with another offer of 55 million pounds from him. And everybody on the Soccer Saturday panel, me included, was saying, because that was a lot of money then.
Yeah.
A lot of money then. People, it was a lot of money now. But people say, what on earth are they doing paying £55 million for somebody who couldn't cut the mustard at Chelsea? And lo and behold, he went on to prove us to be all absolute muppets. But the thing was, it seems to me that every single Manchester City fan, when City paid 50-odd million pounds from him, every City fan knew he'd be a rip-roaring success. Because that's all we've ever heard of since, you idiots. We knew he'd be fantastic. No, you did not.
You've reminded me there. One of the greatest days in football, without doubt, was the day that Wolfgang Wolf took over Wolfsburg. And you can check it, he actually did. Wolfsburg had a head coach called Wolfgang Wolf. One of the great football stories.
Did you used to listen to the media, listen to people making predictions when you were a player?
Oh, yeah. Of course you did. Absolutely. I mean, it's part of the game, isn't it? And you'd listen to them and say, well, he's talking a lot of nonsense. Because it's like anything else. You'd have your own opinions in the dressing room, whether you're a player, a coach or a manager, and you would discuss the same things. In fact, I'll bet there's dressing rooms up and down the country will have their own wee tournaments every week. Whether it's they pick their teams and all that kind of stuff and the predictions. Absolutely. It's part and parcel of the game, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I know Gabriel.
Yeah.
He took the scores that they get given by various papers. He took them to heart. There was a reporter that he wouldn't speak to because he was giving him 5s and 6s rather than 7s and 8s.
Oh, I know. And that's another thing. That is another thing. We all used to look at the points you were giving out of 10. I mean, it's absolutely madness. Madness why you would even look at it and think about it in the first place. Yeah. But they did it.
Things people say. I remember many years ago now, I'll tell you how many years ago it was. We were in Hartlepool, we were in the playoffs from, I'm sure it was League Two then, and I'm pretty sure it was Chris Turner was in charge of
was it Sebi then
the side.
The goalkeeper?
Yeah.
I played with Sebi.
Oh, yeah. Chris is a great boy, absolutely great boy. But we were playing Blackpool in the playoffs and we just missed out on automatic promotion, and Chris went in the media and said, we are the next best team in this division. We deserve promotion. Now, the first leg is away at Blackpool, and Steve McMahon's a bit of a mate of mine. So before the game, I went into Steve's office, and he gave us a couple of beers. He was a real so-and-so, actually, Steve, because I was there with a friend, and I said, get us a couple of tickets, Steve, and he did. Right in the Blackpool end.
No.
Right in the Blackpool end. He knew exactly what he was doing. But anyway, he cleared us out of his office half an hour beforehand, and he disappeared down to the dressing room. And on the dressing room wall, they got the newspaper stories from Chris Turner saying, Hartlepool are the next best team in this division. We deserve promotion.
Yep.
And he used that as a motivation.
Absolutely.
And Brett Ormerod scored about 15 goals against us over the 2 legs. I think he scored 5, actually, 2 in the first leg and 3 in the second leg.
It's amazing.
And, you know, Blackpool...
Oh, that's a well-known one. I've played under managers and coaches. You walk in match day and it's up on the notice board. The morning's headlines for the papers. Absolutely.
Yeah.
They'll use it. And so they should. They use anything they can to... Whether it's motivation or the next wee thing to get you over the line. Yeah.
I mean, back to Hansen. Can you win anything with kids in this day and age?
I
think Chelsea have got the youngest squad in the league.
So, if they're the World Club champions, the obvious answer to that would be yes. You know what I mean? You can argue that it's the biggest trophy in terms of from all the clubs around the world. So, the answer to that question would be yes. But I would suggest that the chances now are few and far between of any top team flooding their side with youngsters. You'll get the odd one come in, I would think, maybe 1 or 2. Nah, but I don't see it happening again, because that particular United team under Fergie, or what was 4 or 5 came in, whether it was Nicky Butt and Scholes and the 2 Nevilles, you know, and obviously Beckham, people like that. That's 4, 5, 6 coming into your side. I don't think we'll see that again.
Yeah. I mean, the young boy at the back, I thought Josh Acheampong came in at the weekend. I thought was excellent.
Yeah, so did I.
Excellent. I think he's only 19.
Yeah, so did I.
And obviously they brought on Estevao as well.
Yep.
Who's 18.
Yes.
And he looks a real...
Again, it's we spoke about it yesterday, the madness of having to sell your homegrown talent for financial purposes. Absolute madness. It drives you insane. But again, if you're a football fan, don't you just love seeing youngsters come in at your side?
Of course you do. So, Alan Hansen was wrong then.
I go.
But he might be right now. 6:45 exactly. When we come back, we'll be playing Scores on the Doors. Good morning, 6:49. This is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling. Ally McCoist is with me. They still won't let it go, Coisty.
They won't.
Reg says, Jeff, as a City fan, let me tell you, we didn't know if he'd be as good as he was. We're talking Kevin De Bruyne here. But we knew he wasn't flopping. He was the top assister in all of Europe when we signed him. You talk like he was doing nothing. Reg, I bet you, I guarantee you did not know that. I guarantee you.
Reg,
when you sign him, Reg.
You got to come clean, Reg. Come clean with the boys now.
Yeah. We've got a couple of interesting reactions to me being called a dinosaur as well. Somebody's texted in and said they're anonymous, just as well. Jeff, sorry to say it, but T-Rexes are also known to be not very intelligent as well. And Simon says, and I like this, Simon.
So do I.
Jeff, I hear you're called a dinosaur because you never get around in as you can't reach your pockets. Bit of truth in that, in fairness, Simon. Okay. Right, it is time for a brand new feature where Ali takes on a fan in a quiz. And this week, we are joined by Plymouth Argyle fan Sam Down. Morning, Sam.
Morning, Sam.
Morning, Jeff. Morning, Ali.
How are you doing, mate? Are you coping with Plymouth's start of the season?
Oh, dear.
Coping is an interesting word. I think tolerating is probably more like it. It's been a pretty dreadful one, but we've got a chance to put it right this evening at home to Leyton Orient.
Yeah. Well, look, we might talk, if we've got time at the end of this, a little bit more about Plymouth, but this is scores on the doors, okay? And we're putting Ali up against you, Sam, this morning. Ali and Sam are both going to be given 3 games. They need to recall for us when the game took place and what the score was. Do you think you're going to be any good at this, Coisty?
No. Right. Sam, you're 1-0 up, man. I don't fancy my chances here.
Well, I think this is going to end as a 0-0 draw because I'm looking at this. Sam's going first. So, Sam, God, tell us about Norwich City at home in the 2006 to 2007 season.
That would be, I believe, the 23rd of September 2006, and Argyle won, I believe, 3-1.
You're kidding me. He's right. 23rd of September, Argyle won 3-1. A Doherty own goal, Norris the goal scorer. Norwich
got one back late on, I believe.
Did they?
Well done, so. Sam.
Unbelievable. That's incredible knowledge, Sam. Ali, you're under a bit of pressure here.
I have. I think I'll get carved up. Sam's a machine in there.
I think you have been carved up, mate. That's because you slept in. So, Hearts away in the 1987 to 88 season. When was it and what was the score?
You're winding me up.
Is that a pass?
What season was it?
87 to 88 season.
5-2 to Rangers. How long have you known me? I don't know what I had for my breakfast half an hour ago.
I'm not even going to ask you the date. It was the 3rd of October 1987.
I knew that
and you went 5-2.
Yeah.
It was 0-0. Sam, here's your next match. No, you won't know this. You won't know this.
Sam, if you get us, I'm leaving the studio.
Okay. Plymouth away to Rotherham in the 2011-2012 season.
Way to Rotherham 11-12. Okay. That was in the second half of the season. I know that because we were at home to them first home game. See, this is an area I'm a little weaker because I was at uni then. I wasn't going to as many games, but I'm going to give it my very best shot. I think it was around March time. I want to say, if anything, it was possibly the 10th of March, and I think we lost 1-0. And I got that.
Are you being fed these answers, Sam? Come on.
By the way, what you don't realise, Sam, I can see you, and you actually resemble at one of the computers at NASA, right?
You can see the processing, right? You can see the brain movement.
10th of March, he's spot on. And they did lose 1-0. Goodness me. We've got an easy one for you then, Coisty.
Good.
So we need the date and the score. Dunfermline at home in the 1991 and 92 season. Come on, you remember when this was. I know you'll remember when this was.
Well, I remember we beating them 4-0, but
jingle bells.
And
Jingle bells.
I know it was Boxing Day, around about Christmas. It was Boxing Day, this particular encounter. But Graham, I remember we beating them 4-0, and Graham soon as passed the ball to me. But Graham was away before then. Graham left about 1990. So I'm going to go for. It was definitely Boxing Day, around about then 27th December, if I'm not wrong. And
you are wrong, but
and we beat them.
Only a day out. It was the 28th of December.
Oh, I know we. Was it 3-0? 3-0 it was.
2-1, mate. 2-1. Good try. Finally, Sam. Perfect record at the moment. One more for you. Away to Dagenham and Redbridge in the 2015 to 2016 season.
That one I do know straight away. I believe it is November the 28th, 2015. It was a 1-1 draw. Ryan Brunt with a last-minute equaliser for Argyle.
This is just incredible. I've never seen anything like this. I mean, you've nailed it. You've absolutely nailed it. Even given us the score, you're absolutely right. Ryan Brunt scored in added time to level things up for Argyle.
Sam, I'm up against Plymouth Stephen Hawkins here, man. What chance have I got?
It's unbelievable. Do you want one more go?
Yeah, I do.
One more
I think
go.
you've been stitched up, Ali.
I certainly have, pal. For sure I have.
Well, to be honest, we didn't need to stitch him up for this because you are achieving the impossible.
It's incredible.
I mean, it is remarkable.
Very impressive. Very impressive, Sam.
Look, Ali, Motherwell away, 1997.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah.
97. It was a comfortable. It was a draw, I think. I want to say one each.
We'll say one each. Go on, say one each. One each. Yeah.
It was towards the end of the season. I think it was towards the beginning of the season, I mean. October-ish. 22nd.
You getting there? 22nd of
November.
Yes! Coisty! I don't know how you managed it.
See, Sam, look at Sam shaking his head there in disbelief.
Brilliant.
You're up against it now, mate.
Sam, how do you know all this stuff?
That's brilliant.
Honestly, Jeff, if I knew how I knew it, I'd be able to channel it into something more useful, is what I always say to that. It's, I don't know what you want to call it, a special interest or whatever. It just stays in the mind. Some things I have to dig a little bit deeper for than others, like you saw with the Rotherham one, but it's always been in the brain. What can I say? And it's, I'm kind of interested to see how long it will keep going. If I keep going for 20, 30 more years, I kind of wonder if I'll still be able to do it, but there we go.
You've got to apply for Mastermind, specialist subject.
I'll tell you what,
Plymouth
Sam,
Argyle dates and
Sam,
results.
You hang about that phone today, mate. You're going to get a phone call from Government HQ, MI6 or somebody like that. They'll be on to you. There's a job for you there, mate. That was really impressive.
Absolutely brilliant, Sam. Better than Plymouth so far this season.
Yeah.
It has to be said. Look, just on that, sold a load of players. Massive turnaround in players, conceding a lot of goals. You confident that you're going to be able to climb that table?
I think hopeful is probably a better word than confident. We did bring in a defender yesterday, Alex Mitchell from Charlton on loan. It seems like quite a good addition. He's been part of two pretty good teams at this level, but there's still a lot more we need to bring in, for my reckoning, if we're going to get anywhere near the top half, never mind clear of the bottom four. We've, as you said, Jeff, we've just lost such a large volume of players, a lot of really good players, even a lot of backup players who just would have been good to have around the squad and are no longer here. It's been a very tough start, and I think it's going to be probably a transition season at best, unfortunately.
Okay. Sam, absolutely loved that. Absolutely loved it. Thank you very much for joining us.
Me too, Sam. All the very best, pal. Good luck.
Incredible
Pleasure talking to both of you. Thank you very much.
I've never seen anything like that. Never seen.
I mean, I'll be honest, I clearly wasn't, but I thought I was getting stitched up. I mean, I thought he'd known that, but that was
genius,
unbelievable.
Genius. Daniel, by the way, says, Ali, it's lovely to hear you this morning, but like you said, if you got the answer right, you're going to leave the studio. And talking about things that have been said that people later regretted or got hopelessly wrong, Sam and Jordan, of course, said the likelihood of a Saudi takeover at Newcastle was deader than a dead thing from Deadland.
That's right.
And he says he was wronger than a wrong thing from Wrongland. So there we go. We've all said some daft things.
Of course we have.
Yeah, and we will do during the course of the morning, no doubt, as well. Now, still to come on breakfast. Nothing as good as that, by the way. Still to come on
breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Download the new improved app to easily manage your accounts and quotes.
After the huge controversy last night at Ellandra, we want to hear from you, the fans, this morning. Leeds and Everton supporters, get in touch, 03717 223344. In fact, if you're not a Leeds fan or an Everton fan, but you've got a view on it, we'd still like to hear from you.
Yep.
Do you think there was a penalty? Was it a shocking refereeing decision? All that and more to come. And that was our look ahead with Travis Perkins.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Doing what matters for the trade with easy delivery tracking and 2-hour delivery time slots. Terms and conditions apply.
The Lions. Real-life fantasy rugby. Bitter rivalries set aside in a quest to create the world's best team in weeks. There's nothing like it, but who on earth had the idea and how did it all begin? Incredibly, the first Lions tour was organised and funded by 3 men who played in England's first ever Test cricket match. Opening bowler Alfred Shaw, opening batsman Arthur Shrewsbury and captain James Lillywhite. The 1888 Lions squad then, made up of 17 English, 4 Scots and 1 Welshman and a Northern Irishman, took a 46-day boat trip to New Zealand before heading to Australia. The Lions weren't alone on the boat. Also on board were 300 stoats and weasels who were brought over to eliminate New Zealand's rabbit problem. The first ever Lions captain, Robert Seddon, died of drowning midway through the tour while sculling on a river. Andrew Stoddart, who was another of the cricketers there, took over and was the star of the tour. The next one was the first to get official recognition from the RFU against the newly formed Springboks. Although the Lions won the series and beat the Boks again 5 years later, in the 12 series since in South Africa, they've only won 2. New Zealand has proved an even tougher hunting ground, just the 1 series win for the Lions in 11 attempts, which came in 1971. And then there was that nail-shredding drawn series in 2017, only the second in Lions history. Only once have the Lions clinched a series after losing the first test, 1989, when David Campese's infamous ghost pass was pounced upon by Ian Evans. Before World War II, the Lions had a dark blue strip, which on the 1930 tour forced the All Blacks to play in all white. So in 1950, the iconic red shirts, white shorts and blue and green socks combination was born. It remains the symbol of the greatest alliance of adversaries in all of sport. To borrow the phrase from Jim Telfer, the Lions is Everest.
Good morning, 7:05. It is Tuesday, August the 19th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist with us through till 10. And of course...
I watched that again. It's never a penalty. Bring them on, get a collars on.
We're going to talk Leeds again in a moment. Of course, we're with the Arnold Clark app. Buy a car and opt into Arnold Clark Rewards to enjoy access to great giveaways and everyday perks. Andy's texted, by the way, to say, very impressive from that Plymouth fan there. You're not kidding. Says, Alan Brazil has a similar knowledge. Ask him any dates and he'll tell you just how many beers he had on that day. No, Andy. No, he won't. He definitely won't. Right, all eyes back on the Premier League as the opening weekend was wrapped up last night at Elland Road.
Leeds are back towards the near post. Flicked on by Stroud. Cleared off the line by O'Brien at the far post before it could reach Tanaka.
21 shots, but could have been a few more on target. Definitely also in the offense a bit more quality.
That performance in the first half wasn't good, no.
You look at the likes of Ndiaye, Shrewsbury Hall, Alcaraz, they've not touched the ball, they've not been in the game.
Everton simply not ready for the start of the season. They look like Alan Brazil at the end of Cheltenham week, a mess.
It's into low ball, into Nonto, turn, spins, hits the side netting.
The home stadium always has to be a fortress if you want to achieve anything. That
the Stack encouraged to shoot. He does shoot, takes a deflection. Did it hit a hand of Tarkowski? It might have done, you know. Looked like his arm flew away. Yes, it's a penalty.
Against Tarkowski's arms as close to his body as he could probably have it. I don't think it was the on-field referee. I think it was VAR who's given it, and I think that was wrong.
Metcher, the new signing, steps up, right footed into the corner, and Leeds United lead against Everton and finally have the breakthrough.
But I love that from my strikers. No, I'm having it, and then calm as you like. No chance for Jordan Pickford.
And now you're going to hear the real Leeds United fans come out. Now you're going to hear it.
I predict a riot. Welcome back to the Premier League, Leeds United. Nights like this, when Elland Road is thumping. Leeds United 1, Everton 0.
Yeah, Lucas Metcher's 84th minute penalty, just his third touch after coming on as a sub, enough to give Daniel Farke's men the perfect start back in the Premier League. And by the way, you know, we talk about the penalty, but it's brilliant for Leeds, and essential as well,
of course,
that they did get off to that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I mentioned it, we chat about it. I think it's good because I think it's really, really poor for the league if the three promoted sides continue to be relegated. Not good for anybody, certainly not good for the league. So I'm certainly with you. I think at least one of the promoted clubs will stay up. And it's interesting that Sunderland, a fantastic result and a great level of performance at the weekend. Leeds picking up 3 points. Burnley obviously going a tough gig going to Tottenham. So a time will tell, but I, for one, want to see the promoted sides a lot more competitive.
Yeah, and they were competitive. There's no question about that. Really liked, I think it's Anton Stack in midfield. Thought he was outstanding. Tanaka as well. And I love Daniel Farke before the game, you know, talking to Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher, he said, because all of their signings are over 6 feet, 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
And the boys brought that up. And Farker said, look, we will not be parking the bus and putting the ball over the stand and into the next river.
No.
I thought that was great. He was very relaxed before the game. Very impressive indeed. Played at a helter-skelter pace, which I think every home game's going to be played at that pace at Ellen Road, which was, of course, rocking. Let's head to the lines. 03717 223344, the number to call. Simon is a Leeds fan. Morning, Simon.
Good morning, Simon.
Morning, Jeff. Morning, Ali.
So, Simon, how much did you enjoy last night?
Yeah, very much so. I thought I agree with you about Stack. I also thought Gudmundsson at left back was impressive as well, and some of their sort of interplay really worked well. I think my point would be the fact that it did highlight, and you said this earlier, Jeff, our need for that somebody in that final third, because everything else looked good. You know, defensively, the keeper looked solid, the integration, the pass and move, but that final third, there was a couple of times we should have gone over the line, regardless of the penalty, if we had somebody of real quality in that box.
Simon, it was amazing listening to Daniel Farke before and after the game, talking about the support, talking about the atmosphere. I mean, I think for particularly for the newly promoted sides to have any chance of staying up, I think the home fans and the home form will have to be very, very good. And I think the one thing that you've got in common with the Sunderland lads is I think the atmosphere at both stadiums will be for opposing teams coming. It might not, it certainly might not scare them, but it'll certainly give your own boys a boost.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, I wasn't at the game last night. My uncle was there last night, however, and he said the roof was coming off. He said the atmosphere is, as it always is at Ellen Road, is really good, and the lads have got to get right behind the team, and it will be critical for us to stay in the league. Absolutely.
Simon, thank you very much indeed. Great start as far as Leeds are concerned. Let's get more on this now by bringing in the Leeds United writer at The Athletic, Beren Cross. Morning, Beren.
Morning, Beren. How are you?
Morning, fellas. Very well, thank you.
Good. Very good. Look, they might as well put that sign, on the tunnel onto the pitch at Leeds, welcome to hell, because every Premier League side, that's what it's going to be like for them, isn't it? It's going to be played at 1,000,000 miles an hour in front of a really hostile crowd.
Yeah, I was really pleasantly surprised with the way they played last night, and like you say, the pace at which they played with and the ambition that they showed, because I think a lot of the assumptions were that Leeds might have to change the way they played last season coming into the Premier League, and I think Farke looked at Everton at home as a game that they simply have to win if they're going to stay up this season. That is the kind of fixture they do have to go to Ellen Road and dominate, and I think that's possibly why he chose Tanaka over Longstaff in midfield as well. And I think, as your caller just said there, the stadium really played its part. I mean, it's going to become a bit of a cliche for people this season, but it really was phenomenal atmosphere last night, and crucially, I think that the players understood their brief and followed it. They gave the fans the ammunition they needed to really take the roof off, and they cheered every single turnover, every pressure, every victorious duel. They were just there with them every moment. And I mean, we can maybe discuss it, but I think it was obviously heading towards a 0-0 really until the penalty came. And as Farke said in your clip there, I think ultimately that might have been the narrative, and that they simply didn't test Pickford enough for the domination that they had. But thankfully, they get the penalty, and it now gives them a bit of a buffer going into the Newcastle and Arsenal games.
You touched on it, Bernard. Do you think, actually looking at both sides, do you think in front of goal might be the biggest problem for both sides?
Yeah, I mean, Everton didn't look in any particularly great shape at all. That was quite surprising, really, for a David Moyes side. Clearly quite early in their preparation still. Leeds still need to do business. You'll know it's very hard to draw any conclusions about any of the teams until the window is closed, and Leeds do still need to get 2 or 3 attackers in. Of course, Calvert-Lewin wasn't even in the squad last night. A lot of hope is wrapped up in simply keeping him fit, I think. And again, it's mid-August, isn't it? We've got several months and many, many matches yet for the team to really click. And Stack, as you've already mentioned, Stack was phenomenal. And you think there's a few of those passes that may find their mark in the final third, finding Daniel James into space rather than to his feet. These are the sorts of things that are going to hopefully improve over the weeks ahead for them.
Yeah, I think that's one of the big questions is, who is going to score the goals for them? And do they have the creativity in the side? Has Jack Harrison been forgiven by the Leeds fans?
Not based on last night. I think it was... We saw it in the friendlies as well, but there's always going to be a portion of fans who sort of react to the booing and try to defend him, and will sort of pointedly clap more. And there was a moment where he came out to warm up last night along the touchline, And there was a definite sort of matching of cheers with boos. But then when he went to hug and be reunited with the Everton subs, of course, we'd been with last season as teammates, that really didn't get any support at all from the Leeds fans. So they gave him both barrels for that as well. But I mean, like Farke says in pre-season, he's simply going to have to win them back with hard work and productivity on the pitch. And as you guys will know well, over the weeks, it may come, but certainly 2 years away, whilst Leeds are in the Championship, and then conveniently he's back once we're in the Premier League. It is a very, very hard sell for them.
It would be wrong of us to let you go without having your views on the contentious penalty decision. What did you think?
I think that the neatest way to put it is, if it happens to your team, you're not very happy with it. So I completely understand where Moyes and Tarkowski were coming from. But I think Neville and Gallagher, I think, probably got it right in their assessment. I think that the way in which he's leaning into it, his arm is almost as tight as it could be, which I completely understand why he's frustrated with it. But I think you can just about see what he's trying to do. And if his arm isn't there, the ball does get through. And ironically, Pickford probably saves it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're absolutely right. He probably does. But hey, look, it's 3 points on the board for Leeds, and as far as Leeds fans are concerned, they don't care how it was achieved. It was a rock solid performance, wasn't it? Beren, thank you very much indeed.
Thanks, Beren.
Cheers, fellas. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, they were very solid defensively. Yeah. The goalkeeper didn't have much to do, but he looked a very confident boy. Kicked well as well, I thought. I thought it was a decent performance.
Of course it was.
Rock solid performance for a newly promoted side.
In front of goal, you'd have a little bit of concern whether the new signing can make a difference or not. Time will tell. But yeah, they've got to be delighted with the start.
Yeah, we're going to get so many. We're having. I mean, Alex is texting. If last night was a penalty, as far as the rules, then it's absolutely clear to me that the rules are totally wrong.
He's right.
He says
he's right.
It was absolutely preposterous. And we're talking about Leeds and their attacking options. Why on earth wouldn't Leeds offer Jamie Vardy a 2-year deal? No-brainer.
We discussed that yesterday.
And by the way, he's been linked with everywhere. In the last 24, 48 hours, Celtic.
I know, I saw it.
Wants to reunion with Brendan Rodgers. I've seen him linked with Napoli. And now Leeds United as well. He's going to be a man in demand. Maybe he's played this very cleverly.
But just sitting
waiting. Yeah, maybe. 7:16 coming up. So Newcastle fans have been heavily critical of the way Alexander Isak has handled his situation. Do they have some concerns about Johan Wissa and his behaviour? We'll find out next. morning, this is talkSPORT. Breakfast at 7:20 on Tuesday, August the 19th. I'm Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist is with me, and the NFL returns to Wembley in October as the LA Rams take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. We have a huge competition to win VIP tickets for that. That's right, we're giving you the chance to win 6 seats in a private box at Wembley with full hospitality and £5,000 spending money. Here's how to enter.
18 plus, UK excluding Northern Ireland. For a chance to win, text the word cash to 83338 and you're in the draw. Text costs £2 plus 1 standard network rate message. You must have the bill payer's permission or enter for free by calling 0330 880 3338. All entries must be received by 25th August at 11 p.m. This is a talkSPORT limited promotion run on talkSPORT, Talk and Virgin Radio UK stations. See talksport.com for terms and conditions.
And the best of luck to you. Now, the end of the transfer window edging a little closer. Some players' futures very much still in the air. Plenty of them, in actual fact. Brentford's Johan Wissa, one of those. Things have started to get ugly as he's reportedly desperate for a move away. Have a listen to talkSPORT's transfer correspondent Ben Jacobs, who spoke yesterday about a development in the latest saga involving Wissa.
Brentford have changed their position and they're blocking a move. They want to keep him. Dango Ouattara arriving is seen as a Brian Mbeumo replacement, and therefore another attacker would have to come in for Wissa to leave. And even so, Brentford don't just want 50, they want 60 million or more for a 28-year-old who's got 1 year left with an extra club option. Wissa was under the impression he would be able to leave, most notably for Newcastle United. But in the last 24 hours, the complexion has changed dramatically. And in the last 5 minutes or so, Wissa has given a clear response. He has removed every single Brentford photo and video from his social profiles. He has unfollowed the club and he has changed his profile picture to a black circle. So this is clear from Wissa. He is disappointed in Brentford because they are blocking his move to Newcastle United with just 2 weeks of the window remaining.
So if we have a falling out, then I'll be taking all my pictures of you down on social media.
It's amazing. The only thing is, I'm reading here, and it's another case of gentleman's agreement he seemingly had, right? Which, if there's anything come out in the last couple of weeks, has told any footballer not to believe anything that's said to them, get it in a contract and sign it, right? Because it looks like, well, you hear rumours about Isaac having some agreement, Visa's having some agreement. It's only agreement if it's legal and it's in a contract and it's binding.
Well, let's get more on this, shall we? Let's cross over to Newcastle fan and podcaster Lewis Bowden. Morning, Lewis.
Morning, Lewis.
How we doing, boys?
Excellent, mate.
Good. So, look, Johan Wissa doesn't want to play for Brentford, doesn't really want to train with Brentford either. I mean, you wouldn't want a player at Newcastle who does that, would you?
This is the thing, right? Because Newcastle fans are getting a lot of stick at the moment saying, well, what about Wissa? He's doing it. Yeah, I think he's an idiot as well, in fairness. Like, the situation's a bit different, though. I feel like we can all understand. Like, Wissa's playing for a team that's going to finish in the lower half of the Premier League, I think, this season. There's no Champions League. They're not off the back of a trophy. He's been told, look, mate, you can go for this amount, and now we've doubled it, by the way. So he has a bit more leverage, I feel like.
We've lost Lewis.
You've frozen Lewis.
Oh, we've lost
frozen Lewis. In time.
We need to get Lewis back up because I have a couple of good questions for him.
Yeah.
That's slightly different. Not totally different, but it's slightly different.
Is. And he's into the last year of his contract. And if you like, it's so tit for tat, isn't it? Because Brentford wanted £40 million from him, and now they're saying, oh, well, we want £60 million from him, thereby guaranteeing that nobody's going to come in for him at that sort of price.
And then they get cut their own nose off to spite their face.
Yeah.
Because they're going to end up, if he does decide, well within his rights, he says, okay, I'll stay here and I'll go for nothing.
Yeah.
End of my contract.
And the way he'll be looking at the final year of his contract, I don't know if it's a gentleman's agreement or not here, but what he will think is this is an opportunity of a move to a Champions League side which may never come again.
Yeah. I can see it from his point of view. Again, I'm not sure he's going about it the right way, kind of throwing the toys out the pram. But if I'm in his situation, I get it totally. Listen, if I'm in Isaac's situation, I get it totally. But you just can't behave the way they're behaving. I just don't think it's right. I mean, you look at the working class guy that pays his money and goes and watches his football. They're just alienating themselves for these people.
Yeah. But the clubs are there in an impossible position, aren't they? If you look at Brentford, it's an impossible situation for them, because if they sit and let him rot for a year, they've lost a massive asset, and they have lost, let's say, £40 million as well.
They can't, Jeff. They cannot do it. It's just absolute. Business is ridiculous. I mean, I was critical at even like Liverpool, and thankfully from their point of view, it didn't work against them. You can't let people like Salah's contract, Van Dijk's contract, Trent's contract run out. In this day and age, the businesses will tell you have to manipulate your contracts so you're not putting yourself in that position. And sadly, whether we like it or not, if a top player's contract's running down to the 2-year mark, 18-month mark, then you've got to think about selling them if they don't want to re-sign a contract.
I mean, I've got a text here saying that the club have an option on an extra year on Wissa's contract. Well, that would make it a little bit different.
Yes.
Because that would then effectively make it 2 years left on the contract, wouldn't it?
That, for me, on that subject, why would any player sign a contract with an option to the club? What benefit is that to Visa? Tell me, what benefit is that to any player to sign I'm going to Newcastle or whatever, and I sign a 3-year contract and they've got a year option?
Yeah.
Why?
No idea whatsoever. I mean, if you look, in recent years it's happened more and more, hasn't it? I remember when Anthony Gordon went from Everton to Newcastle.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if I've got this absolutely right. Didn't he refuse to turn for training or something like that?
There was something, I think there was an incident anyway. I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean, he might remember it. We can go back to Lewis. Lewis, where were we?
Well, I was just saying Isak was a baby, I believe.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, we got as far as Isak was a B, and I didn't know what was following it.
Lewis, listen, mate. I was at the game at the weekend. I genuinely think you can consider yourself very unfortunate not to get the 3 points. However, I did detect it's going to be a long road back for Isak if he doesn't get his move. I sensed. I was travelling up to the commentary position. I was going through the Newcastle fans. I was having a good chat with 3 or 4 of them, a good few of them, and I think there's a long road back for him. Is that fair?
Mate, I've never been more fuming watching us play that game and just thinking of Isak sat at home eating Doritos.
Yeah.
Because not only has he thrown all the fan base and thrown us to the side, thrown the club to the side, he's thrown the teammates to the side who have enabled him to perform well. He's came from a club where he scored 6 goals. We signed him. Those players enabled with him, traded with him, played around him. Jacob Murphy, how many assists he's given Isak. Yeah. And he's just thrown all of them to the side. And they were out there struggling, only got 1 point because Isak's too lazy to turn up for work. I understand his frustration and why he wants to move, but the way he's gone about it, I think it's genuinely pathetic. I don't understand he can do that to the people who's put him in the position where he can actually get a big move.
Lewis, look, thanks very much indeed.
Couldn't agree more, mate. Well done.
Nice one, boys.
Clubs are in an impossible situation, that's for sure, whether it be Newcastle with Isak or Brentford with Yohan Wissa. 7:28, coming up, we'll turn our attention to Arsenal. Is this the best chance they have at winning the title? Well, since last year. We'll discuss that next.
Formula One. It's a sport often seen as insular and elitist, but it's seen a meteoric rise under its owners Liberty Media, not only in popularity and viewership, but in the ability to almost print money. From greater access to more races, here's how it happened. For decades, Formula One was owned and run by one man, Bernie Ecclestone. He was old school, someone who thought the sport itself was enough, and there was no need for all this modern marketing and social media nonsense. But in 2016, Ecclestone agreed to sell his baby to American group Liberty Media. It cost Liberty Media $4.4 billion, and they quickly got to work. We got an F1 app almost immediately, and teams were allowed to show us more from behind the scenes. One of Liberty's most important deals was with Netflix, which in 2019 brought us Drive to Survive. The effect? An almost 70% rise in viewership for races in the US alone. It's massively benefited Formula One online too, with a rise from 7.8 million followers across its social media platforms in 2016 to around 50 million today. New eyes are on the sport too, with F1's own subscription TV channel, which people can watch anywhere in the world. But the main market they've tapped into is the US. There's now 3 races there a year, in Texas, Miami and Las Vegas, and an American-branded team, Cadillac, getting involved in the sport too. More races seems to be the direction of travel. A street circuit in Madrid's being welcomed onto the calendar, while conversations around a Grand Prix in Africa have ramped up in the last few years. More big events could be in the offing too, after the massive F1 75 season launch event in London in 2025. 7.5 million people tuned in to watch it live across the social media channels, and that doesn't include the viewing figures for where it was broadcast on TV in certain countries. It seems Liberty will do whatever they can to grow the F1 brand. Their efforts have been worthwhile too, with Forbes valuing the sport at $17.1 billion back in 2023, almost 4 times more than what they bought it for in 2016. Not bad, considering it's seen as a sport where people just drive around in circles.
Good morning, 7:33, Tuesday, August the 19th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist and Arnold Clark. Build your own car deal online or with a few clicks. They make buying your next car easy. Arsenal got the season underway, of course, with that 1-0 win over Manchester United on Sunday, looking to win a first title in more than 2 decades. And invincible Martin Keown, you'll be surprised by this, he reckons it could be their time.
I feel now, and I've never really tipped Arsenal to win the league, and it doesn't really matter if I do or not, they've got to go and do it, but I'm now feeling, Jim, that they are as close to winning it as they possibly ever can be because of what they've added to the squad. It's never going to be perfect, but when you saw the manager having options at the end of the game there, to see Havertz, another centre-forward coming off the bench, not a makeshift midfield player having to go up front, yeah? And I thought Havertz looking sharper, the 2 fullbacks that came on as well. You have to argue that Lewis Skelly's Timber, they might be first choices, but they came off the bench, Jim. And that strength in depth is really good to see. It's hard for the opposition to deal with. So, he's putting the pieces together. They've just got to go and do it. But we've looked at the fixture lists, and it's like, I don't care what the fixture list says. You've got to believe you can go and win it. If you think it's against you, no, Arsenal, no complaining. Discipline has to be outstanding this year. Last year, do you remember those first few games? They lost their discipline, they had players sent off. There can be no excuses this time.
Well, the fixture list doesn't matter, does it, Coisty? I mean, the fixture list tells you play each side twice. End of story.
Yeah. I think they have got a chance.
Of course they've got a chance. They had a chance last season. Yeah. And a chance the season before that as well.
I think that all the teams, defensively they might be the most solid, Just look, if they can keep those 2 centre-backs fit. They've got 2 good...
I thought they got a lot of praise at the weekend, but actually I thought, particularly first half hour or so, they wobbled.
I don't disagree with you. I've definitely seen them better, without doubt. But I'm saying definitely seen them better. They kept a clean sheet. The goalkeeper impresses me all the time, and he does. David Rea. I like the fullbacks as well, and they've got options at fullback. I thought they were a little bit weak in forward areas. But I take your point. I definitely think the irony is, I definitely think the 2 centre backs can play better. But I do like them together. I really do like them together.
Oh, no question. They're a terrific centre-back pairing. All right, now move over Premier League. Full fixture list in League One, League Two and the National League this evening. We're going to concentrate on League One for the time being. Stockport just missed out on promotion last season, of course, in the playoffs. Heartbreak for them. But they started brilliantly again this season. Unbeaten. Next up tonight, another unbeaten side in Bradford City. Let's look ahead to it. We're joined now by the Stockport County manager, Dave Challoner. Morning, Dave.
Morning, Dave.
Morning, Jeff. Morning, Ali. How are you?
We're in top form. Dave, I said to Jeff last night, I don't want you put you under any more pressure, any undue pressure, but I've backed you. I've backed you to go up, not only go up, I've backed you to go up as champions, mate. How's my money looking? What do you think?
I'll trust your judgment, mate. I'll trust your judgment. I hope you bang on.
He's got 50p on it, Dave, by the way.
I'm a Scotsman, to be fair. But what are you thinking so far, mate? I know it's very early.
Listen, delighted that we've got the points return that we have. We'll be really honest around where we are. Our expectation from last season has obviously increased, and our motivation's increased because of the disappointment we had. We're not playing particularly well. I don't think many teams will be at this part of the season. It can be a little bit clunky with a new squad. I think from a perspective that we came from, you'll always hope there isn't maybe a bit of a hangover from the previous season with the disappointment. There's certainly not been that. And what we have done and what we've got good at over the past few years is being able to get results and understanding what it takes. At times not being at our best, but being able to do that. I would hope that over the course of the season we'll improve. And I'm a big believer that performances over a distance will take care of where you want to sit. So we know we need to get those better. But hopefully we can keep adding points to the table and stay in the position that we are.
A lot of eyes on Stockport this season, Dave, because there's no Wrexham and there's no Birmingham City. Have expectations changed at all?
Expectations haven't changed from my perspective. I think quite positively from a player's perspective, maybe they have a little bit, because we looked at going into League One last season and being the unknown, and players were probably a little bit unsure of where they sat and what they could go and achieve. I think last year really proved to them that we've got a group and a club that can compete at the top end of League One. So they're really stung by what happened last year and want to go better. I think again, you know what it's been certainly since I came to the club, because of the plans that Mark has and the expectations always been there. I think the expectation is absolutely fine, and plans and objectives. What that can't become and what that'll never come with us is an entitlement, because we'll remain humble to what we've got to do. We know we've got to be at our best to win every game, but we know that if we are at our best, that we have an opportunity to do that. So we've started well. We started well last season. We were really consistent last season, which got us to where we did. We didn't get across the line, but there were plenty of positives to take, and we've got to use them to, like I say, remotivate us this season.
We have started well, Dave. I mean, effectively, I'm looking at the game at the weekend. How are you feeling about that? Is that one of these ones you're heading there, you're away from home, you'll take a point, but 2-0 up at half time, you end up disappointed?
Yeah, very disappointed. More around, listen, I would absolutely have taken a point later on. I think there'll be a team that are in and around it. Yeah. They obviously suffered the similar disappointment towards last year on the back of progressing from the semi-final against us. We were bang average, should we say, for the first 25 minutes of the game, but for 20 minutes at the end of the first half, the game should have been over, and maybe some should say it was at 2-0, but we should have been out of sight. We had 2 or 3 really good chances to put the game to bed. For me, it was more around our second half performance, a little bit around mentality and almost trying to see a game out of 2-0 when we'd spoken about going and getting the third goal and remaining on the front foot and carrying the momentum for the end of the first half into the second, and we didn't do that. And that for me is a bit that we just need to get better at in terms of a new group. As you say, there is expectation. All the players that we've brought in the summer, have been some change. Understand what that looks like. Maybe when you come into a club for the first time from the outside, you maybe think you know what it looks like, but maybe now they sort of get it a little bit more. And I think Saturday will be a really good early learning lesson for us, and hopefully that'll be the case over the course of the season, because we spoke about it last year. There was a turning point last year where probably going to Huddersfield away around Christmas, there was 26,000 there. We conceded a goal in the first minute, an own goal in the first minute, a random own goal. But we went on, even though we lost the game, we dominated the game at a big stadium with a big home crowd, and we played like a team that should be in that environment. And that was something that carried us on to the rest of the season. We still need to do that this season. I felt on Saturday we sort of didn't really do it in the second half, but again, a work in progress.
Yeah, and I look at your squad, Dave. It's a terrific squad, right from the goalkeepers onwards, two sort of top-class goalkeepers. But I wonder, I think probably the last guy you brought in was Nathan Lowe. And how pleased you to get someone like Nathan Lowe in?
Yeah, absolutely delighted. I think I said before, we'd spoken with Nathan and his family and his agents, and we were pretty hopeful that we could get something done. When we spoke to him, absolute breath of fresh air. What a young person he is, so ambitious. But speaking to him as a 19-year-old was amazing. He blew our socks off as much as we hopefully blew his socks off. Every single manager in League One would have wanted him. He's a goal scorer. I suppose the challenge for him is stepping up and being able to do it from League Two into League One. He's started one game for us, or been involved in 2 or 3 games and scored 2 goals already. He's a really, really driven individual, but a really, really good lad as well. So I think he's got a great chance. Hopefully he'll score the goals that he did last year, and we can keep him for a full season rather than potentially lose him in January.
Just a quick one, mate. I mean, Jeff correctly says no Wrexham, no Birmingham. Do you, as a coach and a manager in your team, miss the attention and the focus that those clubs have brought to your division for obvious reasons?
It'd be difficult to say. I suppose you look at the ownership models that those two teams have, and what that brings. Of course there is, but you also look alongside that, teams go out of the division and bigger teams come, or as big teams potentially come in. Luton are different, not got the model, if you like, but ultimately 2 seasons ago a Premier League team and have come down consecutively, so we'll still sort of have the finances in place but going in a slightly different direction. The other teams that come down are still big teams, and then you have the teams that come up. Obviously, again, for us tonight, you have Bradford coming back into the division, a massive football club. Over the past couple of years in League One, there's been double figures in terms of teams, or ex-Premier League teams, if you like, Bradford being one of them. So I think as teams move out, normally something else comes in. I think everyone will look at it in terms of what Birmingham and Wrexham and all them things bring. I agree with maybe what you just said there. For that to put the focus on the EFL and on our division last year, I don't see any negatives in that. I think it's brilliant. So I think from maybe a personal club perspective, they will be missed. Maybe not having to deal with their teams, but certainly what it brings to our division.
Dave, great to see you. And the good news is, mate, that Dave Challoner, the cat, is flourishing.
Fantastic, mate. Fantastic. Look after him.
We will do. Love to cake
all the best,
kids.
mate.
Great to see you. Take care.
Dave Challoner, the Stockport manager. I mean, look, he was disappointed to leave Hartlepool, but he's recovered well.
I'll say.
He's brilliant. I mean, in his record for promotions.
Fantastic.
Absolutely astonishing.
Fantastic.
Big game, that. Stockport against Bradford. 2 big clubs, and there'll be a big crowd there too. Right, still to come on Breakfast.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Doing what matters for the trade. Find your local branch at travisperkins.co.uk.
We'll be joined by the former Everton skipper Alan Stubbs to find out if things really are this bad for Everton.
Everton simply not ready for the start of the season. They look like Alan Brazil at the end of Cheltenham week, a mess.
Everton fans, let's hear from you. Are you heading for a relegation scrap this season? I don't think so. 03717 223344 is the number to get involved. Transfer Tinder coming next, and that was our look ahead with Travis Perkins.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Bricks on bricks on bricks. Over 40 million available to order with delivery to site. That's one less thing to worry about.
Good morning, 10 minutes away from 8 o'clock. It's Tuesday, August the 19th. Vin, who's a Manchester United fan, has been on. He says, morning tea, Jeff and Alisaurus. On the on the Isak and Wissa issue. What they're doing is not only childish and pathetic, it's wholly unprofessional, put into perspective by the example set by Eze and Gahey at Palace, both heavily linked with moves away, but still giving their all for their current club, and both deserve massive respect. Vin, you have absolutely nailed it. He's spot on.
Apart from the first part of it, he got it spot on.
Got the Allosaurus.
Yes.
Right, let's head to the phone lines now. Everyone wants to have a say on that Tarkowski handball or non-handball. Does anyone know what a handball is anymore? 03717 22 3344 is the number to call. Nick is a Spurs fan. Morning, Nick.
Morning, Nick.
Morning, how you doing?
We're doing well, mate.
Good.
What did you think last night? What corner are you in?
Well, I thought it probably just about was a penalty, but that's not really why I called. All the stuff about VAR is that we don't want them re-refereeing the game. So the referee and the assistant referee have made a decision that it's a penalty. VAR then go and look at it. Have they made a clear and obvious error? No, I don't think they have, because ultimately it's hit his arm. He had enough time to potentially get out of the way, and that's not, we don't want VAR re-refereeing the game. So I think they got it spot on.
Well, do you know, I agree with you in the respect that I definitely don't want VAR re-refereeing the game, or refereeing the game for that matter. However, I think they both got it wrong. But I do take your point, and I'd far rather be sitting here having a discussion with you, Nick, about the referee or the linesman making a genuine, honest mistake than talking about VAR again, to tell you the gospel truth.
Yeah. Nick, thank you very much indeed. I've got a feeling that Steve is going to have a different view. He's an Everton fan. Yes. Morning, Steve.
Morning, Steve.
Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, Ali.
How are you?
Do you know what, Ali? We've missed it, haven't we? It comes back, and then when it comes back, it's that, what do we call it? The poison that's killing our beautiful game, this VAR. Ali, look, let's get it right. If anyone deserved to win that game last night, it was Leeds. They were absolutely fantastic, and they'll be the go-to team to watch when they're at home this year, let me tell you. But Ali, for the life of me, if Jack Harrison is crossing that ball from the left in the same position, Tarkowski, he's in the same position, and he if you like, he does the same act, and it goes out for the corner. No one's arguing that that's a handball.
Steve, I'm with you. I've watched it, I don't know, I've watched it 15, 20 times, and nobody will ever convince me that that is a penalty kick, mate.
James Tarkowski is aware of what might happen as well, because he moves his arm closer to his body, so close that you could not possibly move it any closer. And for me, the referee doesn't give it. The referee is taking advice from somebody. It turns out is probably the assistant, who's a distance away. Jeff, let me
ask you this, Jeff. Let me ask you this, please.
Yeah.
We're not going to get rid of VAR. Like Simon Jordan said, 100% right, and most users have said, it's not going to go anywhere. What we can do, Jeff, right, we need to get these people, Stockley Park, McDonald's, wherever they're sitting, because even when Moisey asked after the game, and he said to the referee, why did you give the penalty? It wasn't clear and obvious decision to all of us. This is not about getting beat, Jeff. This is about our beautiful game. Let's get our beautiful game right. We've got to get people who are sitting with VAR, because it's not going anywhere. It is good for the game in one way. I mean, I'm 100% just for goal technology. The rest, I'd love it over the pint and have the argument, go back to old school.
Yeah.
But Ali, we need people, and it's not going to change. We need people in Stockley Park that have played the game and understand the game. And until that changes, mate, we should be talking about how well Leeds played last night, how they made the Everton look silly. But all we're going to talk about all day is this football decision that should never, ever be allowed. And it's sad, Ali. It's sad, mate.
Yeah.
I don't disagree.
You're absolutely right, Steve. There's no question that during the course of the coming months, we'll spend so much time talking about VAR. And honestly, I wish we didn't have to.
Because,
thank you, Steve.
Thanks, Steve. We should be talking about Leeds United. Great start of the season, good performance.
Absolutely.
The home Ellen Road again, the crowd. Yeah, that's what we should be talking about.
Right. Our transfer matchmaking still hasn't dried up. Still a little while before the end of the window, so it's time for this.
Je t'aime, oui je t'aime. stick a load of singles in there and then they fall in love.
Of course it's hard. It's supposed to be hard.
A 36-year-old, you'll have the knockers, you will.
Just because it's offering its teat, do I really have to muscle on that?
Is there anything in your personal life that could be causing you stress, sir?
I'm not a great lover.
Hello. Oh. What's your name?
Sarah Louise.
Sarah Louise. Crikey, you're up for it, aren't you?
I was in love at the time, that's what I was doing.
At the time. Right, a quick transfer Tinder, Shaban's back.
Swipe it to the right if you like, swipe to the left if you want to ghost this rumour. Emi Martinez to Manchester United, 6'5", pure Argentinian passion. He's been linked to Old Trafford before, and after Altay Bayinder's not so positive performance at the weekend, the talks have ramped up a little bit more. It's reported that there's a 25 million release clause here for Emi Martinez, but he's keen for the move to Manchester United. What do you think?
Is he? Surprised by that.
Reported.
Yeah. I'm thinking he's got European football at Villa. What's the temptation to go to Manchester United? And before you start to text in, I know they're a massive club. But for me, I don't think Villa can possibly let Emi Martinez go. So I'm a swipe left.
And by the way, I've got to say, Mizot played really well, and the Villa goalkeeper at the weekend, I thought he did an excellent game. It's a funny one, because if I'm Man United, I'm swiping right all day, right? Because he's exactly what you want, exactly what you need. But if you're Villa, left.
Yeah.
So effectively, I don't think it'll happen, because I think Villa would be crazy to let him go.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a left from both of you there. Very quickly, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain to Birmingham. He's 32, perhaps under the radar of late after a couple of seasons out in Besiktas. Injuries have cost him in Turkey, but 35 caps for England and big game energy could help with Birmingham's promotion push. Would you like to see him back in England?
Yes,
Swipe right?
I would. I'm swiping right all day. Okay. I like him. He's another one of these players I just want to see keep fit and get a run at it. I'd love to see him back.
He's a lovely bloke as well. No, that's not relevant at all.
Nice to hear, though.
Yeah, but, you know, and obviously his partner and his 3-year-old son are in this country. It's a no-brainer. Yeah. Swipe right.
Do you like Little Mix? Perry?
Take them all or leave them, but, you know.
Got some tunes.
Yeah, but Perry's all over the paper. Perry's all over the papers today for all sorts of terrible reasons about miscarriages and things. And I think Alex is desperate to come back.
Be back home with his family, though. That's really sad to hear.
Biggest swipe right ever. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Double swipe right, in
Love
fact.
it. The match is made. Let's hope it happens.
Oh, thanks, Shaban.
There you go.
Matthew says Tarkowski knew what he was doing. He moved his body to block the ball, which was on target. And the ball struck his arm. He even admitted it. Just because you got your arms by your side, if you make a deliberate attempt to block the ball with the use of your arms, it's handball. Yeah, but he didn't.
But he's not.
I know.
Man.
I know. Yeah.
What do you want to do? Make a deliberate attempt to block the ball and take your arm off? I mean, what's the? I don't get it.
Yeah. Neither do I. But maybe it's an indication of how difficult referees and VAR's job is by the fact that, you know, reaction has been so divided.
Well, I looked at it again, and I don't think the referee can see it. I think there's a couple of players. But you look at the angle of the linesman.
And if he couldn't see it, why didn't he go to the monitor to see it afterwards?
Yeah.
I just don't know. No. Anyway, thanks, Shaban.
Thanks, guys.
Coming up, the discussion on that penalty decision will rumble on, no doubt. But up next, how many signings do Everton need before the transfer window closes? We'll ask Alan Stubbs next.
Formula One. It's a sport often seen as insular and elitist, but it's seen a meteoric rise under its owners Liberty Media, not only in popularity and viewership, but in the ability to almost print money. From greater access to more races, here's how it happened. For decades, Formula One was owned and run by one man, Bernie Ecclestone. He was old school, someone who thought the sport itself was enough, and there was no need for all this modern marketing and social media nonsense. But in 2016, Ecclestone agreed to sell his baby to American group Liberty Media. It cost Liberty Media $4.4 billion, and they quickly got to work. We got an F1 app almost immediately, and teams were allowed to show us more from behind the scenes. One of Liberty's most important deals was with Netflix, which in 2019 brought us Drive to Survive. The effect? An almost 70% rise in viewership for races in the US alone. It's massively benefited Formula One online too, with a rise from 7.8 million followers across its social media platforms in 2016 to around 50 million today. New eyes are on the sport too, with F1's own subscription TV channel, which people can watch anywhere in the world. But the main market they've tapped into is the US. There's now 3 races there a year, in Texas, Miami and Las Vegas, and an American-branded team, Cadillac, getting involved in the sport too. More races seems to be the direction of travel. A street circuit in Madrid's being welcomed onto the calendar, while conversations around a Grand Prix in Africa have ramped up in the last few years. More big events could be in the offing too, after the massive F1 75 season launch event in London in 2025. 7.5 million people tuned in to watch it live across their social media channels, and that doesn't include the viewing figures for where it was broadcast on TV in certain countries. It seems Liberty will do whatever they can to grow the F1 brand. Their efforts have been worthwhile too, with Forbes valuing the sport at $17.1 billion back in 2023, almost 4 times more than what they bought it for in 2016. Not bad, considering it's seen as a sport where people just drive around in circles.
Only 5 minutes past 8 o'clock. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling, Ally McCoist and Arnold Clark. Get the UK's best used car deals guaranteed. Chris texts in, different season, same conversation making the headlines. VAR. Arsenal goal should have been disallowed. United should have had a penalty. Tarkowski had his arms by his side. And this is week 1, Chris. Week 1. Right. As far as Everton are concerned, you have to say, on the basis of last night, things do not look right for the blue half of Merseyside.
Metcha, the new signing, steps up, right footed into the corner, and Leeds United lead against Everton and finally have the breakthrough.
Ellen Road rocking, Everton shocking.
I've watched Everton for years. We've just had enough. Where do we even go from here anymore? You know, we're the same Everton every year. Doesn't matter if we sign Grealish or Ronaldo, we're the same Everton.
Penalty or no penalty, I think we weren't good enough tonight. We didn't create enough, and there was times where we just didn't look up to it.
Isn't it shameful that the players would say that they weren't up for it, and they weren't up to it? Overall, that performance in the first half wasn't good. No.
You've had a full pre-season. They look so far off it. I can't believe what I'm seeing at the moment.
The fact that Beto's still on the pitch, it's a sackable offence. Genuinely, it's a sackable offence. It's been awful. Everton simply not ready for the start of the season. They look like Alan Brazil at the end of Cheltenham week. A mess.
It's very harsh. Very harsh.
Very harsh.
Right, let's get the thoughts of a former Everton skipper. Good morning to Alan Stubbs. Morning, Alan.
Morning, Stubbsy. How are you?
Morning, Jeff. Morning, Coisty.
Look, I mean, David Moyes had said, hasn't he, that they were short at the start of the season, but you were surprised by how short they looked.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was at the game. I was doing commentary, and first half, Everton didn't look good at all. You know, they looked way off it. They didn't get near Leeds, and every time they got it, you know, the transition of possession was far too quick, and they couldn't get a foothold in the game. And without Leeds really creating an awful lot of chances, they just kept going at Everton, and Everton were contributing to their own downfall at times by panicking and not showing a bit of composure. And you know, second half I thought was a little bit better, but the overall performance, you know, as David and people said, just wasn't good enough on the night.
Stubbs, you're looking at the game last night.
Yeah.
I thought one of the major problems, actually, both teams, was in front of goal. It looked to me it was always going to be, I don't know, whether it was going to be a free kick or a penalty or a set play or something like that. Do you think that's the biggest problem that both sides will have moving forward?
Yeah, listen, the crowd last night was incredible.
Amazing, yeah.
It was the noise was deafening. And, you know, I think Leeds thoroughly deserved the 3 points, but in terms of quality in the game, there wasn't a huge amount. You look at both goalkeepers, you know, they really had a save to make, to be honest. And that is a problem for Everton, you know, going forward. You know, they didn't have an outlet. They didn't really threaten a Leeds backline at all. You know, Beto looked way off it. You know, and the service to him wasn't great at times, but overall, you know, Everton didn't really look like creating an awful lot going forward.
Yeah. I mean, so short. You had James Garner playing at left back, position he's never played in before. I thought he was excellent, by the way, as well. But were there any glimmers of light there? Maybe Dewsbury Hall and the fact that you got some minutes into Jack Grealish?
I think Kenan Dewsbury Hall was, for his first game, was quiet. It's a tough place to go to. But, you know, first off, I think Kenan Dewsbury Hall had 3 touches. And I think that tells you, you know, the amount of defending and the amount of lack of possession that Everton had. You know, in that first half, they just seemed to be defending crosses into the box, corners. Leeds were building up pressure. The crowd were right up for it. And it was, you know, I've got to be honest, it was a surprise that Everton went in at half-time, 0-0.
Looking at it, Stubbsy, I mean, we've all played at Ellen Road. The crowd's fantastic. It's a brilliant place to play. However, pushing forward to Sunday, I think is it a 2 o'clock kick-off at home to Brighton New Stadium. I mean, that's got to be something everybody's looking forward to.
Yeah, listen, I think David's already alluded to the fact that he needs more signings in. That the squad is light, and I think we seen that last night with an injury to Branthwaite and Mikalenko, how short Everton looked, you know. But I think it's trying to gel the players that he's brought in. You know, I'd be very surprised if Jack Grealish doesn't start now on Sunday, and we go to our new stadium. And you know, even though last night was disappointing, you know, I'm really looking forward to it. I think David has shown his frustration in terms of numbers. He alluded to it a week or two ago that they weren't ready for the start of the season, and I think last night confirmed that.
Yeah. Be a very different game against Brighton, won't it? It won't be played at that sort of pace, you would imagine. Where does he need to strengthen that? Full-backs? Central defence? Where do you think, Stubbsy?
I think certainly right midfield. I think they've obviously been linked with Devlin. Whether that happens or not, we'll have to wait and see. I do think Everton need to bring in another striker. I've got to be honest, because I think what they have there right now is not enough. And you might see one going before another one comes in.
Would you take a punt, Alan, on Jamie Vardy?
Oh, 100%. I think he's very different to what we've got as well. We've got two very similar strikers, two big lads.
Yeah.
But we haven't got anyone who's that direct and most importantly, proven goal scorers.
Yeah. Stubbs, I think it's a no-brainer, mate. I do. And you're right, the contrast to what you've got is there. It's evident for everybody to see. I think Vardy plays on the shoulder, still get his pace, running behind. I think he'd be perfect.
Yeah, and I think the players that we've got, you look at Illingham and Jai, Jack Grealish, Kenan Davis, they're players who are looking to slide balls in down the side. They want a clever player to run onto them, and I've got to be honest. I think Vardy's a perfect player for Everton right now.
Yeah, can't be all doom and gloom, can it, Alan? I mean, I've had people texting saying, "Oh, it's another relegation fight." It's not going to be, surely.
No, listen, Jeff. I think Everton are going to be very active between now and the end of the window. They've been linked with a few players. I don't think it's for the one to try and. I think Everton have been in for quite a few players, and unfortunately, they've had I would have said at least 3 players who've said no because Everton are not in the European football. I think Douglas Luiz being one of them, who would have been a great signing, and that's the position that Everton find themselves in. So it's a very frustrating time at the moment for Everton because they are looking to try and do business, and the players that they want are of a better standard than what they've got, but trying to get them across the line has been the most difficult thing.
Just a quick one, Stubbs, before I let you go, mate.
Yeah.
Jack Grealish, where would you play him in the Everton team?
For me, number 10.
Me too.
I think you've got to give him a free rein to be able to drift and roam wherever he wants to, and I think deep down that's where Jack wants to play. And listen, Coisty, I can see him playing in number 10 role. I think the conversation that he's probably had with David is like, listen, I see myself as a number 10.
Yeah.
He might play out wide every now and then when it's needed, but I think predominantly, I think you're going to see Jack Grealish as a number 10 for Everton.
Yeah. Alan, thanks very much indeed.
Good to see you, mate. All the best.
Thanks, Jeff. Cheers, Coisty.
The former Everton skipper, Alan Stubbs there. This is a brilliant text. Steve from Bucks. It says, "Hi guys, I've been listening to this debate all morning. I've come up with a simple solution. Pockets in shorts. Anyone entering the penalty area must automatically put their hands in their pockets. This will not only eliminate handball overnight, it will also instantly get rid of all the grappling that occurs during corners and free kicks." Steve, I wish I thought of it. It's absolute genius, isn't it?
It's got to catch on, Steve. Got to catch on.
Well, we've got hands behind backs, haven't we? So why not? Why not? 8:14 coming up. So Gary Neville was caught out last night saying he'll go absolutely nowhere near Leeds fans. Then the feeling's mutual. We'll find out if Ali's scared of any fans next. Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling. Ally McCoist is with me, marching on together there. A song that's intimidated players at Ellen Road for years and years. The fans are the ones that intimidate players. In truth, it still intimidates pundits. During the return of Monday Night Football last night, Gary Neville was caught red-faced after not realising he was live on the air. Moments before kick-off, the camera panned onto the Leeds fan. Gary was heard on camera saying what he really thinks about them. He said, they're the one group of fans I would never go near. Dave Jones was brilliant, actually. He helped him out fantastically. He said, well, you know, they wouldn't go near you either, Gary. And they referenced it again right at the end of the programme. So it was brilliant. Cara was absolutely having it. He's howling. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, ever had any awkward... You must have had awkward moments, having been an ex-Rangers man.
I mean, I tell you, one of the worst places I went was Belgrade, in terms of the atmosphere and the fans, and horrendous. Belgrade. Played Red Star Belgrade a couple of times. That was one of the most, obviously they speak about Turkey and Greece as well, but Belgrade was incredible. But the Old Firm game will take a bit of beating in terms of the atmosphere and fans being on top of you and all that stuff.
Yeah. But you must have been on flights and trains with Celtic fans. Are they okay with you?
Oh, brand new. Yeah. Absolutely brand new. I think the vast majority of them just appreciated the fact I was when I scored against Celtic, I just wanted to celebrate with Rangers fans. And that's the way it should be. There'll be occasions where you wind people up. I get that's part and parcel of it, but generally speaking, absolutely a fine relationship with a vast majority of Celtic fans. One or two, that again, that's what I was going to light up in about 2 minutes. Yeah. But no, it's fine. But you can't beat it. That's one of the things I miss. The atmosphere last night at Ellen Road, dear me, when you go to some of the stadiums, the great stadiums. I mean, European nights in Glasgow and things like that, just absolutely incredible. Leeds atmosphere, Anfield obviously, North East, brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Fans you would never go near. We had Dave Challoner on the show a bit earlier on, Stockport manager now, but of course he was a Hartlepool.
Yeah.
And there was a rumour that he was going to Stockport, and I remember tweeting, Dave Challoner is never going to Stockport. Why would he? He loves it here. Fantastic fans. We are going places. He will never, ever join Stockport. Of course, lo and behold, a couple of weeks later, he joined Stockport. Now, I've been working in Manchester one Friday night. Saturday morning, I'm getting the train back home, and it's Manchester down to Oxford as the first leg. First stop, Stockport. And Stockport are away to Oxford United that day.
Oh, no.
And thousands of Stockport fans flood the carriage. Oh. And I'm, head down, sunglasses on, as low as I can in my seat. But as soon as they spotted me...
You must have got it the whole journey.
I did. In fairness, they were brilliant. They were really, really good humoured. They were absolutely fantastic.
Here's a belter regarding the hands in the...
Oh, yeah, go on.
Magic. Dave Fabrican reckons Willie Muller used to play with his pockets in his shorts every time Aberdeen played Rangers. It was just somewhere to keep Ali. Very good. Very good, Dave.
Look, let's speak to a Leeds United fan and see if he wants to welcome Gary Neville to Elland Road. Morning, Sean.
Sean, how are you?
Morning, Jeff. Morning, Ali. How are we doing, chaps?
Yeah,
excellent,
good.
Mate.
You'd give Nev a warm welcome, wouldn't you?
Yeah, give him a warm welcome with my boot. I reckon we don't want to go near him just as much as he don't want to go near us, so he can stay clear if he wants.
No, look, Leeds fans. I think Leeds fans are, by and large, are brilliant with opposing fans, and I'm sure you'd be with Nev as well.
Yeah. No, he'd be all right. He'd just have to buy us around. But I thought you were brilliant. I do think, Everton fans have been really gracious, actually, and if I was an Everton fan, I'd be aggrieved as well. But, our luck's going to go up and down throughout the season, so we've got to take this one and move on to the next. And, I loved it.
100%, Sean. The atmosphere. Do you know something? The atmosphere, actually, we knew it would be very, very good, but, I mean, it excelled its expectations. It was just brilliant, mate.
Yeah.
It was, amazing. And as soon as I Predict a Riot comes on, I mean, I've seen them at Glasgow this year as well, just drop that in there. And they were brilliant. There's so many Leeds fans at Glasgow there as well. So that as soon as that comes on, it gets pumping. But,
I've seen them a few times myself, mate. I was just saying to Jeff, we were talking about it right there.
Yeah, we were. Yeah.
I've seen them a few times as well. They're well worth a watch.
Brilliant. Hey, but you Enjoy your day, mate, and soak it all up. 3 big points. Well done.
Well done, mate.
Cheers, boys.
It is 8:23. Right, time now for the latest odds with Coral and Dave Stevens.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. We're here for the fans this season. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
Steve-O, good morning to you.
Good morning, Steve-O.
Gentlemen, a very, very good morning. Great show this morning. Did that last fan say there's always a lot of Leeds fans at Glastonbury?
Yes.
That feels like another reason not to go to Glastonbury. That's a joke. That's a joke.
Dear me. Coming from the Portsmouth man there. Wow.
Well, he can say it now because Pompey are not playing Leeds this season, so he can say it now.
Thank God. Ellen Road, I mean, back in the day, was one of the hardest places to go as an opposition fan. The atmosphere there is brilliant, as it was again last night, of course. But, Jeff, doesn't McCoist make you sick? Even the Celtic fans love McCoist.
Oh, Dave, hold on, Steve. Wait a minute. I didn't go that far. I think they suffer me. Right? I didn't say they like me. They suffer me, mate. There's a big difference.
But very quickly, Jeff, we run a big survey of 1,000 football fans asking all sorts of things on VAR, the state of the game and everything. One of them was favourite pundit. Well, we don't need me to tell you who came top. I mean, honestly, it's just sickening, Jeff. Everyone loves the man next to you.
Steve, it cost me $2,500 in phone calls.
Well, listen, what do we think? Look, I mean, you talk about upsetting fans. I mean, I upset fans regularly because when I give the odds, obviously, I'm a pains to stress. You know, this is not my opinion. But for Burnley and Sunderland fans, turn away now. Relegation betting, look, we've seen every team now. They've all played one game. Burnley 7-2 on to go straight back down. Sunderland 4-6 odds on to go back down. Yeah. They were brilliant against West Ham. Oh, yeah. I thought they were the wrong price actually going into that. You know, they were underdogs. And then you've got Leeds 7-4, Brentford 15-8, Wolves 9-4, West Ham 11-4, Everton 13-2. I mean, what do you think, chaps? Do you think at least one of these promoted teams stay up this year?
Jeff reckons 2, and I've definitely said 1, but who's to say? I mean, it's important. I think, Steve-O, and you'll probably agree, I think home forum and the whole home stadium set up is very important. Leeds and Sunderland have got that. I'm not saying Burnley don't have for a minute, but when you go to that stadium like you heard at the weekend, Ellen Road last night, I think that's a big plus if they can keep that going.
Yeah,
I agree.
And I think there has been money, wasn't it? I mean, Sunderland were about 3-1 on, weren't there? Something like that before the game. So people have been impressed by Sunderland. Just tell us again, Leeds and Everton, what are their relegation prices, Steve-O?
Yeah, so Leeds are 7-4, so sort of third price behind Burnley and Sunderland, but odds against. And Everton are 13-2. Now, the new stadium there is going to be brilliant. I'm so looking forward to seeing what the atmosphere is there is going to be like. But if we think, and I'm with you, I think Sunderland and Leeds have both got big chances of staying up. That's going to obviously drag other teams into it. And Everton at 13-2, we heard from Alan Stubbs, they've got work to do. Look, David Moyes did a brilliant job. But there's going to be these teams, the Wolves, the Brentfords, looking over their shoulder if Sunderland and Leeds continue that good start.
Yeah. Steve-O, I'll get it right this time. I was a week early last week. We were talking about the Ebor meeting. But it's any northern race goer. It's an annual pilgrimage to York, isn't it? So what should we look out for?
As Yorkshire folk call it, Jeff, it's the Royal Ascot of the North. So, or they call Royal Ascot the Yorkshire of the South. But tomorrow it starts with an absolute bang. The Jubbmontt International, regularly one of the races of the season. Yeah. And tomorrow, no exception, Ali. We've got a rematch of the Coral Eclipse 1-2, Delacroix and Ombudsman. We can't split them, joint favourites. Yeah. But it's not a two-horse race. Danon Desile from Japan, really well back, 4-1. See the Fire, a brilliant filly who won superbly at York earlier in the season. And Dariz, an unbeaten horse of the Arc de France, come over from France. Don't miss that. Lambourne, the dual Derby winner, is odds-on favourite for the Great Voltager. That's an unusual path that Aidan O'Brien's taken with him. Maybe to the Ledger, maybe to the Arc. But, yeah, it's 4 days not to be missed. But very quickly, Ali, I've just got to get your thoughts. Bruges tonight. Bruges have been really well back. We were joint favourites a couple of days ago, but now Bruges favourites. Rangers touching 2-1. It's always hard putting a fan on the spot, but I mean, how do you see this one going?
It's going to be tough because I think Bruges are an upgrade on the last two games, Victoria Pilsen and Panathinaikos, who Rangers, again, I was saying to Jeff last night when I had a chat, Steve-O, in Europe, fine. In fact, pretty good. come through both those ties with relative ease. However, league form and at the weekend in the Cup's been very, very concerning. So I don't really know what Rangers are going to turn up, mate. Obviously, I'm hoping it's the European one. It'll have to be, because it is an upgrade.
Yeah, big night, isn't it, for Rangers? And of course, in the end of the day, it comes down to money, doesn't it? You know, financially, to reach the Champions League proper. Wow, it's worth a small fortune, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Steve-O, thanks very much.
Have a great day, pal.
Cheers, gents.
And that was a look at the latest odds with Dave Stevens. All thanks to Coral, 18+, gambleaware.org. And we'll bring you more on Rangers next.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. We're here for the fans this season. 18+, gambleaware.org.
Formula One. It's a sport often seen as insular and elitist, but it's seen a meteoric rise under its owners Liberty Media, not only in popularity and viewership, but in the ability to almost print money. From greater access to more races, here's how it happened. For decades, Formula One was owned and run by one man, Bernie Ecclestone. He was old school, someone who thought the sport itself was enough, and there was no need for all this modern marketing and social media nonsense. But in 2016, Ecclestone agreed to sell his baby to American group Liberty Media. It cost Liberty Media $4.4 billion, and they quickly got to work. We got an F1 app almost immediately, and teams were allowed to show us more from behind the scenes. One of Liberty's most important deals was with Netflix, which in 2019 brought us Drive to Survive. The effect? An almost 70% rise in viewership for races in the US alone. It's massively benefited Formula One online too, with a rise from 7.8 million followers across its social media platforms in 2016 to around 50 million today. New eyes are on the sport too, with F1's own subscription TV channel, which people can watch anywhere in the world. But the main market they've tapped into is the US. There's now 3 races there a year, in Texas, Miami and Las Vegas, and an American-branded team, Cadillac, getting involved in the sport too. More races seems to be the direction of travel. A street circuit in Madrid's being welcomed onto the calendar, while conversations around a Grand Prix in Africa have ramped up in the last few years. More big events could be in the offing too, after the massive F1 75 season launch event in London in 2025. 7.5 million people tuned in to watch it live across their social media channels, and that doesn't include the viewing figures for where it was broadcast on TV in certain countries. It seems Liberty will do whatever they can to grow the F1 brand. Their efforts have been worthwhile too, with Forbes valuing the sport at $17.1 billion back in 2023, almost 4 times more than what they bought it for in 2016. Not bad, considering it's seen as a sport where people just drive around in circles.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist, and the Arnold Clark app. Buy a car and opt into Arnold Clark Rewards to enjoy access to great giveaways and everyday perks. Coisty, you sent a message this week, didn't you, to the young girl who plays for
young girl Sky.
Kilmarnock.
A young girl Sky that I think she's left Celtic and went to Kilmarnock. Yeah. And some of these bampots online and giving her a bit of stick.
It's disgusting.
Absolutely diabolical. Anyway, I need to find it and show you. I watched it last night.
I've seen it. It's unbelievable. It's an incredible free kick.
What a free kick she hits. What a free kick is Sky. She puts it right in the top corner. I sent her a wee message. I said, well, better luck. I'll come and hopefully come down and see you soon. I tell you what, if that's the standard I go, I'm looking forward to it. I'll get down there as soon as possible. She just bends this thing right in the top corner. What a goal it is. Well done, Sky.
It
Brilliant.
Is superlative, and the best way to answer any of the muppets who are giving you a stick on social media. Jerry, re-pockets in shorts. Players need to remember to take their wallets out first, otherwise there'll be no room for their hands.
As regarding all the Celtic fans like me, Steve-O, I've just had a message for Scotty Boy. Aye, same to you, Scotty Boy, okay?
And Paul, who's a Cardiff fan, is a great idea. He said, with all this VAR stuff going on, why not make it entertaining for the crowd and have the referee and both linesmen go to the centre circle and perform VAR in the style of YMCA by the village people? It's Paul, thank you very much indeed. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Right, it's time for a bit of this, just for you, Scotty Boy. Yeah, a bumpy start domestically for Russell Martin at Rangers. 2 draws from their opening games. In Europe, though, they've done absolutely brilliant so far. Victoria Pilsen gave them a bit of a scare in the second leg. Yeah. Really, they were always pretty much in control, weren't they?
That's what I would say, Jeff, yeah. I mean, taking the first game against Panathinaikos.
They were excellent against Panathinaikos.
Very good. Very good.
It's a great result.
Correct. Great home result in the next round. I thought Jack Butland, incidentally, in the away leg was superb, but I always felt confident they're going to go through. I really did. I think this is a different game tonight. Clearly a different game tonight, Jeff. The oppositions have a far better standard, and it's a tough one to call. I saw Bruges last year. I think they've had I wouldn't say an indifferent start of the season in the league. I think they're 7 points after 4 games or something like that. But they are a different level up, I've got to say. Financially, it would mean so much, clearly, to both Scottish clubs if we can make it through to the league stages of the Champions League. Whether they're equipped to handle it, well, Celtic proved last year, particularly at home, and had a couple of good performances away from home as well, that they did qualify. They could handle it fine. Rangers, I think both clubs, to be brutally honest, are Europa League clubs at this moment in time. They've got, they could certainly go further in that tournament than they could in the Champions League. But in terms of the finances, it's just vitally important for both clubs to go through. I think Celtic have got a game against, is it Kara Almaty of Kazakhstan? I think it is. I would expect them to go through.
Yeah,
I really would. I think Brendan's team will get through. Rangers have got a chance. I would suggest they'll probably start to tie second favourites. But in terms of the finance, mate, it's just, but just being able to compete, you got to try and get through.
Yeah, we mentioned the sort of unsavoury side of things with the young girl at Kilmarnock a moment or two. Russell Martin says he's concerned about some of the messages he and his family have been getting on social media.
That's terrible, mate. Unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable.
Let's hear from him now.
I have a lot of people message me who read message boards and stuff who are concerned about me, and they just don't have to be. So I keep telling my mum, don't worry about it, it's all good. I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. I appreciate the honour of managing this club every day and the gratitude I feel for that. So let's have that in the building. I said to the staff as well, so many of them support the club but I think they've lost a bit of joy of being here and working here. So let's get back to that. Let's understand how big this is and how brilliant it could be, and focus on what we can control, and that is playing with so much energy tomorrow and really feeding off it.
Yeah, I mean, it's managing in that goldfish bowl, isn't it? You know, and there are a few sharks circling.
100%. I've been there, you know, and I've done it, and I know what it's like. You know, if you're a player or a coach or a manager involved at either of the old firm, I mean, there's an unbelievable and unwarranted amount of stick flying about.
Yeah.
Particularly by these idiots on the social media that are basically just
keyboard warriors, hide behind, you know, anonymity. Yeah.
So, I mean, and the best thing to do is just ignore it. You know,
it's hard though.
It's hard. It's hard, Jeff. Yeah, but
especially for a family. You know, the manager.
You take it absolutely.
You'll be used to it.
Oh, that's above and beyond that, mate.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you 100%. You're a big enough boy to handle it yourself. You take that job, you know there's going to be flack coming your way, but when it starts affecting your wife and particularly kids at school and things like that, no, that's a different ball game altogether.
Yeah, it's unforgivable. So look, I know you're off to Bruges next week.
Yes.
What sort of result do Rangers need tonight to give themselves a chance of getting through?
You've got to stay in the game. Absolutely stay in the game. As I say, I'm very, very hopeful that the home form in Europe rather than the performances domestically will take place tonight. And if we play like they can at home in Europe, you know, they can set. I think they could nick it. They could nick it, but at the very least, I think they'll need a draw.
Yeah, I think they need to take an advantage there. I'll be brutally honest with you, mate. Let's just touch on Derek Adams, shall we? You don't know it. Derek Adams is was the Morecambe manager. We talked earlier in the week.
We had a laugh, didn't we?
Yeah, we did about, you know, short-term managers, how quickly people can be sacked. Well, Morecambe, you know about all of their issues. They were taken over by the Punjab Warriors consortium yesterday. And 73 minutes after they took over, they sacked Derek Adams.
I know, and I'm laughing about it. It's not actually a funny situation because you and I were sitting last night having a crack about it. How can you possibly get the sack? Played none, won none, drawn none, lost none.
And you're not in the relegation phase.
Exactly. And you're sitting something like 16th or 17th in the league. I mean, the irony wasn't lost on me at all. But if ever it summed up management, that was it. Getting sacked before a game.
Yeah, he'll be back to managing Scotland somewhere, I would imagine. I think people would say, you know, that it's harsh, but if you're in their position, bear in mind they were relegated under Derek last season, so, you know, and it was a difficult job for him last season, but they were relegated under him last season. If you've taken over, you spent your money, a lot of money on taking over this football, you want to bring your own man in,
100%, 100%, and Derek would know that. I mean, the one thing when takeovers occur and happen at clubs, it's guaranteed they're going to bring in their own people, not just in coaching and management positions, around the club, because that's what you would want to do, and that's what you're entitled to do. So, although we're having a laugh about it and the irony of it, you know, it's not that shocking, I don't really think, because they want to bring their own man in.
I think the thing that might get the goat of some Morecambe fans is the fact that during all of their troubles, during all of their issues, Derek Adams has stood by.
Correct.
He's stayed with them.
Absolutely.
So that might stick in the gullet a little bit, I would think. Certainly in the gullet of Derek Adams. Yeah. Anyway, the next thing they do is bring some new players in, because they have lost a lot of players, and it's all well and good being given permission to play again. It's wonderful that the club has survived off the pitch. Now they've got to survive on the pitch. That's the next big ask. All right, let's look ahead to the next hour of the show with Benchmarks.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Benchmarks Kitchens and Joinery. Get trade prices on kitchens to suit all styles and budgets at Benchmarks.
I think I read that former top ref Dermot Gallagher disagreed with the decision to award a penalty last night at Elland Road. We will find out if former Premier League referee Mark Halsey agrees with Dermot Gallagher on that controversial penalty last night.
Tarkowski's got his arms by his side. It strikes him, there's no doubt about that. Nobody can argue about that. But short of cutting his arms off, I don't see what he can do.
Oh, there we are. So I'd read about it. You've heard it. And I completely agree with Dermot. I suspect that Mark takes a different point of view. Keep your calls coming in on that too. Just one weekend into the Premier League season. Are we already in danger of VAR becoming the main talking point yet again? I think we all know the answer to that, actually. 03717 223344. And that was our breakfast preview with Benchmarks.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. With 250 hire branches nationwide, it's easy to hire at Travis Perkins.
Good morning, 8:47, Tuesday, August the 19th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist is with me. Martin's texted Ali, and he's honest, he says, but it's quite touching. He said, Ali, hated you as a player, mate, but the relationship between yourself, Walter and Tommy Burns was pure beauty and showed where the rivalry should stop. May they rest in peace. P.S. Hope you get stuffed tonight.
Couldn't stop himself.
Couldn't stop himself. Thank you very much, Martin.
Brilliant, man.
Eberechi Eze, discussions going on between Tottenham and Crystal Palace over a potential move across London for him. I did admire the way that he played at the weekend. For
that's how
Crystal
you do
Palace,
it, mate.
despite all the speculation.
That's how you do it. You pull on that jersey, you're representing that club, you're representing yourself, you're representing the fans. Get on with it.
Yeah.
You know, and Mark Gay is the exact same.
Yeah.
I think the two of them have handled it really, really well.
Yeah.
And I've got to say, boy, have I enjoyed watching Palace the last 3 games, you know. Cup final, Community Shield, Chelsea. Man, I think they're robbed, actually, you know, with a free kick as well. And it would just be, I think it'd be really disappointing for Palace fans how far they've come to lose. If they lose both those players before the window, dear me.
Yeah.
And they say one player doesn't make a team, and I get all that stuff, but if you lose 2 key players like that, that poses a big problem.
Yeah, it does indeed. A lot to like about them at the moment.
Definitely.
That is for sure. Of course, Eberechi Eze and Mark Gay's mate Michael Olise was one of those who's moved abroad recently, gone to Bayern Munich, and going very well for him by all accounts. More and more British talents have gone abroad in search of regular football, and it seems to be going rather well. Coisty, what are the benefits of British players going abroad, would you say?
Oh, I think there's a lot of benefits, clearly. An opportunity to live in another country, another lifestyle, learn another language, play a different type of football in a different country.
Wasn't it Rushy who legendarily said when he went to Italy, it's like living in a foreign country?
It's genius, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's genius. No, but I think there's lots of benefits. And by the way, if you look at it recently, it's a thing to do. I mean, you look at the boys, wee Bully and Scott at Napoli and things like that. You look at Jude Bellingham, obviously. Job's followed him to Dortmund, things like that. There's a few of the Scottish lads in Italy as well, really.
Yeah, and of course Harry Kane's at Bayern.
No, I think there's a lot to like about it, particularly if you're a young man with a young family as well. You want to sample a different way of life. Absolutely. I mean, no getting away from it. You're probably walking away from the best league in the world. I wouldn't argue that. I definitely think you and I watch the best league in the world week in, week out. But there's a lot of massive pros we're going to play, whether it be Italy, France, Spain, whether it may be Germany. Definitely.
Yeah, and it may be the best league in the world, but for the likes of Scott McTominay and Billy Gilmore, it's a chance to go abroad and play for the champions of Serie A.
Correct. You sometimes think, and we are to a certain degree, I think we're a little bit insular. We do, we rightly protect and enjoy a league and I love our league, but I think sometimes we're a wee bit insular, we're a wee bit blinkered to what's going on outside. And some of you and I watch football wherever it may be. I watch French league, German league, whatever it may be, and there's some fantastic football. And the 2 lads that you mentioned, Scott and wee Bully at Napoli, we were talking about Leeds fans last night, we're talking about Anfield, we're talking about Ibrox and European nights. I'll tell you what, if you go to that stadium in Naples for a match, I mean, what? That's a different level.
I mean, when I did Champions League for Sky, that is the most intimidating stadium and city, actually, that I've been to.
Yeah. I wouldn't disagree with that.
Found it pretty scary. You tempted to go and play abroad?
I had a wee chance years ago to go to Cologne. But no, I was.
He did play abroad. He came to England.
Yeah, very true, very briefly. But no, I was looking at in the respect as well. Scott McTominay probably, felt there was another challenge out there, and I'm not saying he was forced to leave, but maybe it suited both parties. Him going, wee Bully maybe the same. But I was at that time playing in, well, not arguably, definitely one of the best teams in Britain, and I was enjoying my football and everything was good. We were in a great success. So there was no real need or desire for me to leave. Plus the fact when you're playing for your boyhood club, it can't really get any better than that. But I mean, I had an opportunity early on in my Rangers career to go to like Cologne and 1 or 2 places, but no, I never really. And I don't regret it at all.
No.
Although I can't understand, you know, the carrot of moving abroad and playing abroad.
We've just found a few problems getting hold of Kenan Davis right now, but he's playing for Udinese, so he's enjoying life in Udine, which is meant to be a very beautiful city, very trendy, not many overseas visitors, so very similar to Birmingham where he was before, you know. Sorry.
You couldn't get a more contrast, but just to back up what you said, remember, I was there last week.
Of course you were.
I was there last week, mate, for the Super Cup final for Tottenham versus PSG. And by the way, you're absolutely spot on. Beautiful little place. Stadium not big by European comparisons. I think it's about 25,000. But you know that way you look at a city, you look at a town, you look at the stadium, and you think that's just enough. That's perfect. A great atmosphere in the stadium. Stadium's really tidy, but the city itself and the town itself, absolutely gorgeous. It's what you'd kind of expect of a quaint, old-fashioned Italian city. You know, lovely, absolutely lovely.
He's in a great position, isn't he? Because he's gone abroad. He's added to his experience. He's played in Serie A. Yeah. You know, he's a centre forward. We know how much demand they are in. You know, if he chooses that he wants to come back to this country, he's going to find himself in a pretty good position.
You would think so, wouldn't you? You'd absolutely think so. See, I know I'm kind of disappointed we can't get hold of him at the moment in time. So I would like to ask him the differences, you know, in terms of not just the lifestyle and all that, but in particular the defending, Jeff. I mean, we get back to the day, you and I get back when 60s, 70s, you know, when you mentioned defending, it was all about the Italians, wasn't it? I mean, everything about the Italians, the great Italian defenders, you know, going all the way back. I mean, I know we can go back to Baresi and Collavati and Bergomi and all these boys, Mazzola. When defending, they were the first kind of country of players from a country where I thought, wow, these guys actually defend as if their lives depended on it. I've never played against national players who actually genuinely took so much pride in their defending than these kind of Italians. And you look at our guys, we've certainly had that as well, with Butchers and Terrys and boys like that spring to mind, but the Italians for me, incredible.
Okay, I'm glad to say we've made contact with Kenan. Morning, Kenan.
Good morning, Kenan.
Yes, good morning.
Hey, Kenan, so how are you finding life in Italy? Been there for a couple of years. You enjoying Udine?
Yeah. Nah, I'm loving it. It's just obviously completely different to what I'm used to in England. But yeah, it's been a good 2 years. This is my third year, but I really enjoy it.
Good for you, Kenan. I was there last week, mate, for the Super Cup. I was just saying to Jeff, I was there last week for the PSG Tottenham game. Beautiful little stadium, absolutely perfect. Tell me the big differences before I go into the football. It looked a beautiful little city. Is it one of these places where after your work you can walk about and have a coffee and nobody bothers you, or are the fans really passionate and they're in your face all the time?
As you said, it is very beautiful, and it is somewhere you can go walk for a coffee. Of course, fans will come up to you, but they're very polite here.
Yeah.
Like they'll always ask, they will never just like rush in your face or anything like that. They're very polite. But it's definitely one of those type of cities where you can go out and just like sit on the corner of the road, corner of the street, and have a nice coffee or nice food, whatever, and it's just very, very chilled.
It looks that way, mate. Moving on to football. I was just saying to Jeff, man, back in our day when we played against the Italian defenders, I mean, dear me, they were unbelievable and they took the art of defending to the extreme. Have you noticed any massive differences? And if so, what are they between the defending, and for example, in England and in Italy?
I would say, for me, obviously, I played most of my time in the Championship, but I would say the difference is like the whole team defence. In England, like I was kind of used to this kind of transitional type defending, but not to the extent now. Like the tactical side of the game here, you really got to have 11 men like all together, all defending. So that's just one big thing I learned. And in regards to the defenders, yeah, as you said, they love it, and obviously they sit back a lot more. So they're just very aggressive and it's very just love, and you can tell by their faces and just everything like to do with defending. They just love. So yeah.
I mean, obviously, you know, Udinese, one of the smaller clubs. I mean, a thoroughly respectable 12th last season. But what is it like going to places like the San Siro or Napoli?
Yeah, as you can imagine, like their fans are just crazy. You know, like just getting to the stadium, their fans are just so passionate about football. going there, like that's just before I came to Italy, like this on FIFA playing at the San Siro and against those type of teams on the game. So when you go there in real life, you can just clearly tell like the difference in size of this huge clubs, man. So it's daunting in the beginning, but then you just learn to enjoy it because it's just once in a lifetime moments to play at these massive stadiums.
Well, you're often, I think it's Monday night you start, mate. You had a 2-0 victory I noticed in the cup last night. League business, is it Monday night you play Verona? What's the targets for the season, mate?
Yeah, the target's obviously just to improve from last year. We finished 12th last year. Our goal, obviously, we know a certain amount of points we want to get in the league. So yeah, just improvement year on year, which we have done, to be fair, since I've been here. So the improvement is just to finish above where we finished last year, and obviously individual improvements as well from the whole team. So yeah, just improvement from last year.
I think you got another English speaker just joined you, haven't you, Lennon Miller?
Yeah, Lennon Miller. Yeah, he's from Scotland.
Yeah. So, I said an English speaker. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But I tell you what, Kenan. Look, I think you're 27 now. Centre forwards are in demand in England. You know, do you think you'll be back one day?
Yeah. We'll see how it goes. Obviously, as you said, I'm 27 now. Hopefully, I get no more injuries, and this season I can just have a very good season, and then hopefully we'll see. But yeah, I'm enjoying it now, and I'm just focused on the present to see how it is at the end of the season. So yeah.
Well, I'm definitely coming back there, mate. I was so impressed with the city. So if I see you sitting at one of those coffee bars, I promise I'll be polite if I come up and say hello.
Yeah, that's cool. Of course. No problem.
Kenan, good luck. Stay fit. Score goals.
Cheers.
Have a great season.
Thank you very much.
Good luck, mate.
Thanks,
Brilliant.
See you. Thank you.
The former Aston Villa forward, now at Udinese, Kenan Davis there. Coming up, former Premier League referee Mark Halsey will come on and end the debate for once and for all.
You don't think he's going to agree with a penalty?
I don't think he's going to. I think he is going to agree with the penalty. Dermot Gallagher.
I'll bet he doesn't.
I bet he does.
Right, you're on.
We shall find out. That's next.
Knows there are 20 managers in the Premier League, yeah? Well, actually, no. Around 3/4 of them are not managers. The terms manager and head coach are often used interchangeably to describe Premier League bosses, but they're actually two different jobs. So let's explain how and why. For years, fans referred to Mikel Arteta as Arsenal's manager, but I'm afraid technically...
I don't think so, no.
From his first day on the job, he was the Gunners' head coach. Let's pick a random moment in time, February 2025. Only 6 Premier League bosses actually held the official title of manager rather than head coach. Man City's Pep Guardiola, David Moyes of Everton, Ipswich boss Kieran McKenna, Southampton's Ivan Juric, Oliver Glasner at Crystal Palace and Leicester's Ruud van Nistelrooy were the only actual managers of their respective teams. Everyone else? That's right, head coach, including Ruben Amorim at Man United. He took over from Erik ten Hag, a man who had held the title of manager. Might come as a surprise that Amorim's appointment marked the first time ever that Man United had a head coach instead of a manager. But to understand why they made that decision, you also have to get what the difference is between a head coach and a manager. A manager's got a huge range of responsibilities. They're not just in charge of training and player lineups, they're also heavily involved in player sales and transfers. Critical stuff. But a head coach's role is far more focused on team training and performance on the pitch. So whereas Ten Hag was highly involved with decisions around transfers during his tenure, the intention was that Amorim wouldn't be, at least not on the same level. And as the sporting structure at Man United changed under Sir Jim Ratcliffe, people like Sir Dave Brailsford took charge of transfers instead. How all those roles play out in practice may be slightly different at different clubs though. On the other hand, the contracts of actual managers like Pep or Moyes had no limits on their job role and their involvement with transfers and contracts. But those guys are actually in the minority now, and it's a change that's happened pretty quickly. In 2019, there were only 6 head coaches in the Premier League, but by 2025 there were 14. A clear indication that more and more clubs are moving towards a model where the guy in charge is actually only really in charge on the pitch. And the way things are going, it might not be long before all 20 clubs have got head coaches, and the job position of football manager in the top flight is no more.
Good morning, welcome along to the final hour of talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling, Ally McCoist and Arnold Clark. Build your own car deal online, all with a few clicks and make buying your next car easy. Still to come between now and 10. We'll continue to delve into all the latest stories from the transfer window with our guru, Alex Crook. If you're a cricket fan, don't go anywhere. One of the stars of Bazball, Ben Duckett, will be with us in less than half an hour. But now, a new Premier League season, same old refereeing controversy.
VAR's decision, the explanation that we've had, is that Senesi had no control over the ball.
So they're ultimately saying that it was just a natural movement of his body, which is total nonsense.
Eberechi Eze, he has just thundered in a free kick into the back of the net.
That's what happens at free kicks when you're on the end of the wall. You just try and ease the player out of the way. I think Cosade's got to be stronger. I don't think that's the right decision.
It's Manchester United 0, Arsenal 1. And it's an absolute calamity for the goalkeeper.
The goalkeeper has to use the hands to catch the ball, but he's getting pushed. I understand that we are trying to help the game to have more goals, but sometimes too much is too much.
He does shoot, takes a deflection. Did it hit a hand of Tarkowski? It might have done, you know. That could be a penalty. He looked like his arms were away. Yes, it's a penalty.
I think it's really harsh, Jamie, honestly. Short of cutting his arms off, I don't see what he can do.
Yeah, one set of fixtures in, and it's all about VAR and referees. Let's bring in former Premier League Mark Halsey to talk a bit more about some of those decisions. Morning, Mark.
Good morning, Mark.
Morning, guys. How are we? More controversy. When you started.
It's only opening day of the season, mate. We thought I thought we'd give you at least a month off, but we're bringing you in immediately, mate.
Yeah, amazing, isn't it? I mean, look, we heard Dermot's view of what happened last night, and he didn't think it should have been a penalty. What about you, Mark?
Absolutely no penalty, in my opinion. I mean, you've got to look at Law 12. You know, has he made himself unnaturally bigger? Has he moved his arm deliberately towards the ball? And the answer to those questions is absolutely not. I mean, his arm is in a natural position, okay? If he moves his arm away from his body and the ball hits him on the hand, then yes, you can justify a penalty. But he doesn't. I mean, that is a natural position. And what's he supposed to do? Where's he supposed to put his arms? So for me, you know, of course you're going to move your body into it, but he hasn't moved his arm away from his body. His arm is still within his body. Law 12, handling the ball. That is not a penalty.
I'm with you, Mark, 100%. Now, let's take it to the next step then, right? So, Chris Cavan is looking at it. I'm looking at him. I don't think he's got a great view of it, right? So, he goes to his earpiece, So we think it's his assistant on the touchline that's possibly said to him it's a penalty. So what should he do there, right? Because Jeff's of the opinion, and I agree with Jeff, if there's any doubt at all, and he clearly has doubt, he's got to go over and look at VAR.
Yeah, listen, I think he's guessed. I mean, I'm surprised VAR didn't recommend a review and for him to go over and look at it again. I'm really surprised. And I think that was the same assistant who didn't see the ball that was 2 or 3 feet out of play earlier on. So I think they guessed. And in this game, you cannot guess. If you're not 100% sure, you don't give it. If he's 100% wrong, then VAR will get involved. But for me, it's all about knowing the laws of the game. And law 12, handling the ball, that is not a penalty. And I could understand David Moyes' frustrations.
I mean, you mentioned the law 12. What about law 13? How aware of that were you, Mark? Obviously, we're talking about Chelsea Crystal Palace now.
Free kick, yeah, law 13, free kick. Listen, we've seen that so many times where it hasn't been disallowed, the goal hasn't been disallowed, where the attacking players encroached the wall. And we want to see consistency. Now, I was surprised that Darren England didn't manage that situation better because he's got a clear view of it. He can see it happening, blow your whistle before the free kick's taken and stop it. And once free. I mean, to be fair, VAR is correct to get involved. I mean, it's an indirect free kick, and also pushing him out of the way creates that gap as well, doesn't it? For that ball to go through. So, listen, I thought that was the correct decision. I thought VAR was correct to get involved in that situation, but I was a bit disappointed with Darren England. I thought he should have dealt with that and managed that situation a lot better than he did.
It's amazing, Mark, looking at it. Do you think sometimes, and we all know the referees and his assistants and VAR are there to apply the laws of the game, and without them we've not got a game, so that's the first thing you've got to say. But do you think sometimes, I'm of the opinion myself, that not necessarily going against the laws of the game, but I just think sometimes officials could do with using a little bit more common sense?
It's not always about the laws of the game. It's what football expects. It's about knowing the game of football. And I think that's where we have a little bit of a downfall with our officials at the moment. They know the laws of the game, but they don't know the laws of the game. They don't understand players' frustrations. They don't show empathy for the game. They just come across at times very arrogant. And they sort of, they don't use. You can use their common sense with the right leadership and direction from PGL management and their coaches.
Mark, look, it's not a great line, so we'll leave it there. Yeah. Thanks very much indeed.
Thanks, mate. All the best.
Take care, guys. All the best.
Former Premier League referee Mark Halsey, he agrees with Dermot Gallagher. Certainly not a penalty last night in his view. Let's get more on this, heads as the phone lines. Dan is a Leeds fan. Morning, Dan.
Morning, Dan.
Morning, Jeff. Ali.
How are you?
Where do I start?
Go on.
Can I start by saying, what did you put in Siobhan Hearn's coffee this morning? Everton were robbed. They look good as some park, mate.
No. Dan, the first thing you've got to say, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Paul, but the first thing you've got to say is, absolutely, Leeds deserved those 3 points like you've no idea. The atmosphere, everything about it for their opening league home game and picking up 3 points, thoroughly deserved, brilliant. But, come on, pal, the penalty.
Yeah, but mate, he linked towards the ball, right? Can I say something, Ali?
Of course.
And forgive me if I'm being biased, right, okay? Last season, how many Man United fans jumped on it when Liverpool got a penalty, right? All the time, right? Apparently that league was fixed last season with Liverpool. No, it wasn't, right? Sing it now. I think I've told you before, I've told Jeff, I've told many people. I think that the Premier League is one big joke, right? VAR, referees, everything, the decisions, this PSR rule and everything. To call it the best league in the world is, I'm sorry, Ali, it's embarrassing sometimes. And please bring this Super Six in, because it brings you back to stuff like people who can't buy. You can't buy the players and do whatever. And, the first thing that happens is the predict who's going to go down and all this stuff and all that. And, it's becoming obvious because there is big teams in the Premier League and they're obviously different to the teams in the Championship. And
Oh, lost Dan. But, you know, Leeds can buck that trend, can't they?
Of course they can.
They can stay up, you know.
They can.
Sunderland can stay up. Burnley can stay up with one game in. Let's hear from Tony, who's an Everton fan. Morning, Tony.
Morning, Tony.
Morning, Jeff. Morning, Ali. Okay, boys?
We're excellent, pal. How about you this morning?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I didn't think it was a penalty, but you know what? I'm not bothered about that. What I'm bothered about is the performance that Everton put in. I thought it was absolute lacklustre. No direction, no energy, no effort. And ultimately, them fans that have gone down to Ellen Road have been robbed of a performance from Everton. And to be fair to Leeds, they wanted it more.
Yeah.
So for me, you know, it's not a great decision by the referee and the VAR. But ultimately, it wasn't even decided on that. It was the performance before it. Leeds always looked like they were going to score. Everton could have been there for 2 months and probably wouldn't have scored. So for me, they've got to have a look at themselves this morning.
Tony, where's your goals going to come from, mate?
Well, that's another thing, Ali, exactly. Do you reckon you can throw your boots on and we'll give you the contract?
I can't lie to you, Tony. I think I'll need to shed a couple of pounds, mate. I've got to be honest. About 42.
more than a couple, Tony. Look, thanks very much indeed for that, Tony. That's how text in. You just cut Dan off. Shocking. We did not cut him off.
Oh no,
we did not cut him off.
We never cut him
you
off.
know, absolutely not.
Enjoying that.
Yeah. Let's get one more perspective. Chris is an Arsenal fan. Morning, Chris.
Morning, guys. How you doing, you couple of old dinosaurs?
Brilliant, mate.
We're surviving, mate, unlike the dinosaurs. So, yeah. What did you make of it then, Chris?
I think 2 words. Game's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone. It's ridiculous. And I keep saying it. Who is the main official on the pitch? The referee. In my eyes, he hasn't even seen it.
Yeah.
He's gone from what the lino said, and he hasn't even gone to the monitor.
Yeah.
So how can it be given? It's ridiculous. What is he meant to do? If that's handball, I don't even know what handball is now. I'm 45. I've been watching football for God knows how many years. I don't even know what's handball and what's not now. Game's gone.
Yeah.
Can't disagree, mate.
Yeah, we don't know what handball is either. It's a pretty big non-exclusive club right now. So, Chris, thank you very much. Indeed. Coming up, we turn our attention to the future of Alessandro Garnacho. Is he off to Chelsea or is he going to spend the season on the sidelines? Do Chelsea fans want him? We'll discuss that next.
please.
Good morning, 9:19. I'm Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist is with me. I've got a different perspective briefly here on that penalty shout last
Will you
night.
hear this?
It's from Emmett, the Leeds fan. He said, it was a penalty. OK, his arm was in a natural position, but his body wasn't. He leant over into the path of the ball. Penalty.
Emmett, gonna explain to me how you put your body
in an unnatural position.
Oh, man alive. I mean, that's absolutely brilliant for Emmett, a Leeds fan.
Yeah, fantastic.
His arm was okay, but his body was in an unnatural position.
Emmett, don't worry, mate. You got the 3 points. You played well, played okay, and deserved it. But, yeah, the body in an unnatural position. Right, another story we spotted in the papers this morning, by the way. Angry folk are better at their jobs. That's good news for me, isn't it? A survey's found that people who channel their anger into their work are likely to make better employees than those who spend all their time moping and whinging. One of the scientists says if you want to tackle a challenge, it's way better to experience rage in that moment.
Oh, I disagree.
Do you? Stay calm.
You got to
keep cool.
You've got to stay calm and control of the situation. Once you lose it, you tend to do things that, with hindsight,
I think an element of anger is okay. For instance, right now, Emmett, the Leeds fan, is at home raging that we don't agree with him about the natural
Emmett's
position
made
of the
my
body.
day.
Yeah.
Emmett has made my day. I'm dying to ask Emmett if he said his arm was in a natural position. Was his other arm in a natural position if his body wasn't in a natural position?
Let's leave it. Look, this thing about people channeling their anger, I think there's an ulterior motive to why producer Ollie's put this in, and I think it's got something to do with where we are now. This new
don't
studio.
start me. Don't start me, man. This new studio, shambolic. Right, there's the view. We've got the greatest view anybody could wish for in London. We're on the 17th floor. We look out, we look across the city. We've got HMS Belfast on the right. We've got the Tower of London over on the right hand side, and we have got the biggest screen that sits there in front of one. You can't even see at the window. And don't get me started on the buttons. I can't even speak to the producer in there, Ollie, which generally would be a good thing, but sometimes you have to speak to him. It's cramped. We've got the biggest. Oh, I'm so angry.
Yeah. Hey, you're on the way to being a brilliant broadcaster, clearly. You know, better to experience rage in the moment. That's what they say.
Yes, Ed, you're right. I've got the toys at the pram. I have got the toys right out the pram. New studio gets a heavy from me.
I'm saying nothing, you know. I depend on talkSPORT for a living, mate, you know. Unlike you, who got 33 different employers. Right, just a few weeks left of the transfer window. Time for a bit of this.
Rookies Roundup, right here every day. Rookies Roundup, which players are on their way. If an agent's got a story.
Hello, Alex Crook. What you got for me?
Crookie gets it first.
Yeehaw, cowboy! There's a snake in my boot.
He gets all the gossip from the best players to the worst. Of course, it's time for Crookie's Roundup. He's the very best. He's the rootinest, tootinest journo in the Wild Wild West. Crookie's Roundup.
Yeah, I know Buzz from my Bournemouth days, actually.
Well, let's find out if he's feeling angry this morning. It's our chief football correspondent, Alex Crook. Morning, Crookie.
Crookie, good morning.
Good morning. Do you know what? I do share Ali's frustrations about the fact we can't see out the studio anymore. I used to love that view coming into work.
Mate.
I don't get it either.
Crookie, I mean, why would you do it? When it's 17, we've got the most beautiful view, particularly in a nice morning. You look outside and you get HMS Belfast, Tower of London, man. There's people would pay fortunes for that view, mate.
I'm with you. Absolutely with you. So listen,
Thanks,
you've got more power there than I have.
I doubt
Get on it, Ali. Come on.
I doubt it, mate.
So look, what view will Eberechi Eze be enjoying during the rest of the season? A view from the Tottenham training ground?
I think quite possibly, Jeff. Yeah, a view from that magnificent Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I was there on Saturday as they opened up with a comfortable win over an albeit poor Burnley side. But yeah, I think this one will develop. I think Spurs are probably going to have to pay a bit more than Daniel Levy ideally wanted to, but they're not going to meet the £68 million release clause that expired on Friday. I think a deal of nearer £60 million will probably get this one done. credit to Eze, because we've spoken a lot this summer about players throwing their toys out the pram, Ali McCoist style, likes of Johan Wissa and Alexander Isak. But Eze turned up on Sunday, scored a goal, which a lot of people think was harshly ruled out for offside, and he'll play again for Palace in their Conference League playoff on Thursday if the deal is not done. But I think ultimately we'll end up at Spurs, and I think it could be a really good signing for Thomas Frank.
Crookie, what a blow that would be. If obviously losing Eze would be bad enough. They can't lose a centre back as well, then, can they? I mean, if you're a Palace fan, you're in seventh heaven in the last 2 or 3 months. That's for sure, because they're a good watch. Not only are they difficult to beat, they've got some fantastic attacking players. If they lost Eze and Gay, that would be a savage blow, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I was told a few weeks ago that they would only let one go this summer. I think ideally it would have been Gay, because obviously he's out of contract at the end of the season, and there's a very big risk that he leaves on a free transfer, because certainly I don't see him putting pen to paper on a new deal. But I think if Eze goes, that would just strengthen their resolve to get top dollar for Gay. We know Liverpool have held talks, but last I heard the two clubs were some way away in terms of a valuation. Newcastle, who tried to sign him obviously a year ago, have gone down a different route. So I don't think there's loads of options for Gay. Liverpool will keep trying to get this deal done, but at the moment I would probably err on the side of him being more likely to stay than follow Eze out the door.
Crookie, Alejandro Garnacho once again not in the Argentina squad for the next couple of World Cup qualifiers. Is there any progress on that move that's been touted to Chelsea?
I think we're getting there. Obviously, again, Manchester United was still asking for £50 million. Chelsea not willing to pay that for a player who clearly has no future under Ruben Amorim. Wasn't in the squad again at the weekend. I looked in the director's box where a lot of the players who weren't picked was situated. Rasmus Højlund was in there, Andre Nana as well. No sign of Alejandro Garnacho and that bleached blonde hair. I know he's told friends that he expects to join Chelsea. I'm going to write about that on my notebook, which will be out on the talkSPORT website later today. So I think this deal will happen, but I'm fascinated to see where the two clubs come to a compromise in terms of the transfer fee.
What about last night's game, Crookie? I was talking, obviously, Jeff, we were talking about it all morning. Great 3 points for Leeds, but I thought both sides look as though they might have problems in front of goal.
Yeah, I agree. Obviously, David Moyes has voiced his frustration when it comes to what Everton have done in the transfer market. They did back him in the sort of week leading up to the season. Jack Grealish able to come on and make a cameo last night. Kenan Dewsbury Hall as well. But I think you're right. It's the top end of the pitch where they're in need of a bit of support. I know they're quite excited about the signing of Tieno Barry, but obviously players coming from abroad can take time to adapt in the Premier League. And Leeds as well, it was quite attritional for them, wasn't it? I think they did deserve to win the game, but certainly weren't as impressive as Sunderland were against West Ham at the weekend. Noah Okafor, a player they're trying to sign from Milan. Looks like that one will happen for around about €20 million. He's set to undergo a medical, so that will bolster their attack, which is something Daniel Farke has been crying out for.
A word on Savinho, Crookie, because Pep says he wants to trim his squad down, but apparently he doesn't want Savinho to be one of those who leaves.
No, I think he's one that Pep wants to keep. I reported this last night. My information is that Pep Guardiola has told Savinho that he won't be allowed to go this window. He's another player that Tottenham have looked at, although I think it would take a club record fee in terms of what Spurs would pay in excess of the 65 million they spent on Dominic Solanke to even get Manchester City to the negotiating table. But I think there are other players in that squad that Pep would rather go first. That might be a frustration to Savinho because he's by no means a guaranteed starter, is he?
No, not a guaranteed starter. That is for sure. I mean, who is at City these days?
I don't know.
Apart from Haaland and Reinders, maybe.
There's a lot of people just thinking about the contradiction in terms. Pep saying his squad's too big, needs to get rid of a few of them. But I get it. Savinho, I think, gives him something different as well, so I can understand that, Jeff.
Crookie, thanks very much indeed.
Good day, Crookie.
Cheers, guys. Enjoy the view.
We would love to. We would love to.
It's a good one for Jeff, the Arsenal fan. Ali, the screen's in an unnatural position and needs to be a minimum of 1 metre from the window.
And Emmett has been back on. He said Ali's headed the ball a few too many times, and that old ball was heavy.
Brilliant, mate.
I think Emmett has the last word on that one, that's for sure. Coming up, we're joined by one of the stars of English cricket. Opening batsman Ben Duckett is with us to tell us whether England are ready to go down under and face the Aussies. That's next.
When was the last time you saw someone score with a knuckleball free kick? We're going to take a look at why we're not seeing them anymore and explain a bit about how they work. The knuckleball peaked in the 2010s after that Ronaldo strike against Portsmouth in 2008 inspired academy players everywhere. Here's a young Mason Mount.
I tried to base my free kick on Ronaldo, hit the ball by the valve and it moves. So what do you do? Top corner.
Now, no ball is perfectly aerodynamic, so as it travels it creates ever-changing pockets of turbulent air, causing that unpredictable movement. Football's most prolific free-kick taker, Juninho Pernambucano, perfected the technique but didn't invent it. He was inspired by players from the 90s and even the 50s. So how do you do it? You have to hit the ball head-on with as short a contact time as possible so the ball doesn't spin. Hitting by the valve helps with that short contact time, as it's the hardest part of the football. So why don't we see knuckleballs much anymore? It's because players are being told not to shoot from dead ball situations because the XG is so low. In fact, as Opta shows here, since the 08-09 season there's been a 10% reduction in players shooting from free kicks in the Premier League. And in 23-24, a record low of 11 free kicks found the back of the net. And the knuckleball, though spectacular, is imprecise, which is why it's becoming a thing of the past.
Good morning, it is 9:34, Tuesday, August the 19th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist and Arnold Clark's app. Buy a car and opt into the Arnold Clark rewards to enjoy access to great giveaways and everyday perks. I'm Jeff Stelling, but it's time right now. I mentioned that twice, didn't I?
Still Jeff Stelling.
And you're still Ally McCoist. And now it's time for someone a bit special, someone who does this.
On the reverse is Duckett, and he has absolutely nailed this delivery from Jadeja over the boundary for 6.
Short, pulled away by Ben Duckett. He's got hold of that one magnificently. That too has gone for 6.
Duckett is crunching off the back foot. Loves that square area and picks up the first boundary.
He goes in and Duckett slog sweeps him all the way over mid-wicket for 6.
In again, and Duckett disdainfully has just taken a step down the track and smashed him up and over.
Yeah, just 94 days, can you believe it, from the start of the Ashes. What a summer we had as well. What a series it was against India. Tension turning to the 100 now. Ben Duckett's playing for Birmingham Phoenix. They take on Welsh Fire on Friday. It's a great pleasure to say a very good morning to Ben now. Morning, Ben.
Morning, Ben.
Morning, guys. You all right?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate. Look, you don't get any sort of, virtually no sort of break at all. Do you enjoy the 100?
No, I love it, to be honest. The good thing with the 100 is, it is quick and, you don't get too many days off, but because I'm only living in Nottingham, I get to come home in between games, and the coach is very understanding that I've just come off the back of a pretty tough test series, so he's very good in the way he lets me get back and see family.
Listen, mate, before we head on to cricket, Ashes and India series, tell us about these hats I'm sticking on. The Duckett bucket.
Good.
Aye.
Good lad. I was hoping to see you wearing that.
Oh, don't worry about that, mate. And the surprising thing was they do them in my size.
Yeah, it looks great on you, to be honest. I've got the cap on today.
Well, I'm working on it, but I tell you right now, because I'm hoping to be wearing this in Australia, because I want to come out and see the Ashes. I've been out there before. It's fantastic.
Well, I've got a question, though, Ben. What the heck's this? Green and yellow?
You've got the Australia one on there, Jeff.
Oh, unbelievable.
I wasn't getting near that one for other reasons, Ben. But anyway, mate, we're looking forward to the Ashes. However, I want to take you back to the India series. A lot of people, probably myself included, I really enjoy my cricket. I think that's as good a series I've seen since maybe the 2005 Ashes.
Yeah, I mean, there was kind of a lot of talks about that. I mean, even for me playing in it, you know, it's tough to get anywhere near that 2005 one. That was, you know, I was 10 years old there. I think it got a lot of people into the sport, you know, and to beat that series, you know, that was an Ashes series. For me, it doesn't come close to that. But it was an incredible series, you know. I thought India were exceptional throughout the whole series. They properly challenged us, and, you know, it could have gone either way. We were, you know, we were so close to winning the series 3-1, you know, and fair play to them. They gave it everything right to the very end.
I mean, when you look ahead, we look back and ahead. I mean, one of the standout days, I think, certainly probably from your perspective and our perspective as England supporters, was that partnership with Zach Crawley, day one, Old Trafford, wasn't it? Absolutely brilliant partnership. And you're going to be needing to repeat that, aren't you, when you go out to Australia against a battery of fast bowlers?
Yeah, I mean, if we can do what we did at Old Trafford in the Ashes, then, you know, we'll put ourselves in a good position. But yeah, you said it there. You know, the Aussies are, you know, their attack are unbelievable. You know, and certainly in their own backyard, we know how difficult it's going to be. But, you know, the good thing is we've all played them. You know, I've said this in previous interviews about other teams, and it's not that, you know, that makes it any easier, but you do kind of know what you're coming up against, and there's no surprises. So, look, they know exactly how we're going to, you know, go about things out there. It's not going to change just because it's an Ashes and it's in Australia. Hopefully we'll continue to play the cricket we played this summer, and yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty good series.
I think, Ben, I think the fact that yourself and Zach is an opening partnership, some people are saying it's maybe the best since Alistair Cook and Andrew Strauss, tells you how well the pair of you are doing, and obviously you have to perform well over in Australia. I want to talk to you about it. Looked at times, from our point of view, it's a great watch, but it looked a little bit tasty in the Test series against India. I'm guessing when you go down under to Australia, it might go up a level again.
Yeah, I think it will. You know, touching on the India one, it was really good in a way. It was such a feisty series because, you know, I think in cricket now with the franchise leagues and, you know, everyone knows everyone, and it can be a touch friendly at times. So, you know, the Indians came into the dressing room after and we had a good chat with them, and it was all kind of left on the field, which is exactly how it should be. But yeah, I can imagine going over to Australia that it won't just be the players. I think we'll get quite the reception from the stadium as well. So, yeah, how we deal with that, yeah, we'll see.
Well, it's a good job you and Zach are such shy, retiring violets. Never got a word to say for yourself, eh?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, brilliant. How important is that partnership, by the way? How important is it that you know your opening partner?
I think it's so important. We're the only two that we know we're always going out to bat together, every single game. And we set the tone for the rest of the team, or we might set the tone for the whole match. So, whether that's 40 or 100 or 150, it's so important. And the guys, batting behind us certainly speak. They kind of like it when we do go well and we're putting bowlers under pressure. But yeah, we've come such a long way, me and Zach. I think, we're great mates off the field, which I think goes a long way because, you even see in those moments where things can get a bit feisty where, I as soon as, they're going at him, I want to be right in there with him. He's a mate of mine and, you want to go through those different periods together. And I think also just knowing how each other react to failures or successes, whether that might be grabbing him for a beer at the end of the day when, me and him we're 10 for 2 overnight and we're thinking, God, opening batting's not fun. How you get through those periods. But yeah, there's no one I prefer batting with than Zach when we're in full flow and he's crunching boundaries at the other end.
Ben, tell me, mate, obviously I think Glenn McGrath went early on it, and unsurprisingly he's predicted a 5-0 series whitewash for the Aussies. No shock there. But in terms of, and pardon me if this is a silly question, but I do enjoy my cricket. Can you tell me, would there be a massive difference in the wickets in Australia than the ones you're used to playing in?
Yeah, well, there is, and I think that's why they're so good over there, and that's why they produce so many fast bowlers. The pitches over there tend to be very bouncy and fast. So when you're coming up against the 4 quick bowlers who are all about 6'5", that's why they have so much success over there. So we'll have a little period before the Ashes where we can kind of get used to that. And as I say, lots of guys have played over there, and we've actually got a 1-day series in New Zealand just before, and those pitches can be similar to out in Australia. So, yeah, certainly trying to get used to the pace and the bounce, and then just using that to our strengths as well. You've got to, I probably won't be playing too many straight drives over there with all those big bounces. It'll be probably a lot of cut and pulls.
Ben, before you go, just one quick question. Jacob Bethel, captain for the one-dayers in Ireland. He is so young. Can you be a captain at that age?
Well, I think, you can. I think the thing with Beth is it's going to be an experience more than anything. He knows that, when he plays for England again, it's going to be under Harry Brooks. So, he's got the likes of Joss Butler there with him, who's going to help him out, I'm sure, on the field. But what I would say about Beth is I think he's about 21, but he is an extremely mature young lad. The way he thinks about cricket, the way he goes about it all, it's like he's been playing for 10 years now. So, yeah, I don't see that he'll have any issues over there. And, we obviously, when we're playing against Ireland, they'll be backing themselves to go out there and win. So, no, I think it'll be an extremely great experience for him. And, yeah, I'm sure he'll go well.
Ben, thank you for the entertainment. And thank you particularly for the Duckett's Bucket, which Jill has just texted in and says, Coach, you me, we look like Bill and Ben, the flower pot men. Brilliant. Look,
best of luck, Ben.
Enjoy the rest of the 100, and the very best look out in Australia, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you, guys. Cheers.
All the best.
Duckett's Buckets.
Brilliant,
I don't think they suit me.
I can't believe I've got it on.
No.
Tremendous. I mean, size-wise.
Yeah. I can't believe I've got the Australian one on. Okay, coming up, we'll take more calls on that penalty decision last night that seems to have taken over the show. Ali's still trying to work out what handball is.
Correct.
play by top man Holmes. There's the snap. Brady throws it, and it's caught for another touchdown. Stepping up and throwing deep down the sideline is caught. It's caught. The Patriots win the Super Bowl. There's the Hail Mary, but it's intercepted. And that's the game. It's over.
Feel like I was actually at the game. This is talkSPORT Breakfast. With me, Jeff Stelling and Ally McCoist. A brilliant commentary from Alan Brazil. Now the NFL returns to Wembley in October as the LA Rams take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. We have a huge competition to win VIP tickets. We're giving you the chance to win 6 seats in a private box at Wembley, full hospitality included, and $5,000 in spending money. Here's how to enter.
18 plus, UK excluding Northern Ireland. For a chance to win, text the word cash to 83338 and you're in the draw. Text costs £2 plus 1 standard network rate message. You must have the bill payer's permission or enter for free by calling 0330 880 338. All entries must be received by 25th August at 11 p.m. This is a talkSPORT limited promotion run on talkSPORT, Talk and Virgin Radio UK stations. See talksport.com for terms and conditions.
Yeah, best of luck to you. Still the talking point of the day is definitely that penalty award last night. Luke in Worksop says, you can clearly see he moves his arm down towards the ball. Blatant penalty. If you can't see that, you were dafter than you looked in those hats. Luke, that is absolutely impossible, pal. Let's go back to the phone lines, been going crazy all morning then. 03717 223344. Good morning to Tom. Tom's a Leeds fan. Morning, Tom.
Morning.
So, Tom, I'm guessing that you thought it was a penalty last night.
It's blowing my mind that there's this much debate about it, to be honest. He's leant down and used his arm to block a shot on target. It's penalty.
Tom, how's he used his arm to block a shot?
Well, his arm is close to his body, but there's a gap, and he's purposely leant down.
There wasn't a gap. Tom, sorry, there was no gap. It was almost behind his back. Seriously, no gap whatsoever.
Now, before we get any further, Tom, I've got to say, Leeds were excellent, deserved to win the game, and the whole thing was brilliant. But I ain't having it, mate.
Yeah, listen, I know what you say. He's unlucky. It's one of them. If it goes against you, you're gutted about it. But well, apart from anything else, on balance, we totally deserve the win. But, I mean, look, he went down in the box. He used his arm to block a shot on target. I honestly, I can see why there's a debate, but it's not as clear-cut as it's been made out. He's leant down and he's blocked a shot on target with his arm.
Tom, look,
you want a penalty for that. If it's against you, you want a penalty.
Yeah, absolutely. Tom, regardless of the penalty, you got the points. Will you stay up this season?
If we play like that every week, we'll be in Europe.
Yeah.
We were, yeah.
I love the ambition. Tom, good to talk to you, mate.
Brilliant. Good luck.
Now, Daniel is an Everton fan, and I'm just guessing, and it's just a wild assumption, that he'll have a different opinion. Morning, Daniel.
Morning, mate. You all right? How you doing, boys?
We're in great form, Daniel. Good. Surely you've got to agree with us. No pen, mate.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't know what Tom's talking about either, because you could never even see his wrist. You couldn't see his arms. From the elbow below, you could barely even see it. So, to be honest, as well, I'm unhappy with the performance from last night from the Blues. I thought Moyes, he got it a bit wrong, if I'm being 100% honest. I thought he got it wrong. He played James Garner at left back when we just bought Adam Asnou for the summer. So, I'm a bit confused as to why he's done that.
Mm. I was also with Stubbsy on earlier on, Daniel, and I was asking him about the biggest concern I have, and actually for both teams looking at them, I think it was the best game, but I thought obviously Leeds deserved to win the game. But in front of goal, I think scoring goals might be a problem for both teams looking at it from last night.
Mm. Scoring goals has been a problem for the past couple of seasons, to be honest, mate. I mean, Beto had a good chance last season. He had a good run out where he looks a bit less hungry this season. I don't know whether he's debating a move to go elsewhere, because I have seen some links on the socials suggesting that he might be going elsewhere, but I'm not too sure.
Yeah, he struggled last night, didn't he? Nothing stuck. Absolutely nothing stuck.
You know what? Like, people are saying that we couldn't get the ball up to him, but like, even if we did get the ball to him, he's not going to hold it up. It's not as if he's going to hold it up and then take on a man and go and score. I just don't see it with him anymore, unfortunately. I do love him as well, you know. I do love Beto. I think he's a quality player, but I just think he's lost that fire in his belly.
Daniel, thanks very much.
Thanks,
indeed.
Daniel.
Mitch in Southampton says, can't believe after all the shocking decisions, the one that's being spoken about is Tarkowski. Don't get me wrong, he said it's never a penalty. How are we just forgetting about Senesi playing basketball when Ekitike is through on goal? Yeah, I mean, it was a completely different situation, isn't it? I mean, Senesi actually stretches out and tries a grab at the ball, and the fact that he only got his fingertips on it is irrelevant. But it was a long way from goal. That's all I would say on that. Let's take another Leeds fan. Good morning to Kevin.
Morning, Kevin.
Morning, Kev.
Morning, gents. You all right?
We're in top form. Great start for you last night, mate.
It was. I'll take it. It wasn't a penalty, but I'll take it because someone's going to go against us this season, that's for sure.
Well, that's true. What I was going to say, you're pleased the atmosphere was absolutely incredible. Yourselves in Sunderland, Jeff and I were saying how difficult it is for promoted teams to stay up. But your home forum, I would suggest, Kevin's going to be vital.
It's very much vital. The big important thing for me was, I know it's the first game of the season, but these are the games that you've got to pick points up. And with Goodmanson, Stack and... who else was it that had started with their debut? You know, you got 3 new players making a debut.
The goalkeeper.
You got 1 or 2. Goalkeeper, he didn't have much to do, but it's just the penalty. It's everything that's wrong with the game. I mean, he's put his arms behind his back, which is a ridiculous thing they've got to do to defend these days anyway. Yeah. But he's put his arms behind his back, and as a defender, and I'm a Leeds fan saying this, so anyone that tries to tell me it was a penalty, I'm sorry, you don't understand football. He's allowed to try and block that ball from going on target. Jamie Carragher last night, move out the way, let the keeper save it. It's not in his DNA to move out the way. If he does move out the way, you're flagging him off for moving out the way.
Correct. Yeah. You're absolutely right, mate. You'd absolutely... he'd get battered if he moved out the way and stopped.
It was by Jamie Carragher. Yeah. No, look, I'll take it because it is going to go against us this season, but that doesn't make it right. The inconsistency on the opening weekend of the Premier League, it's in its name, Premier. It's not Premier Effing, is it? It is absolute shambolic what's going on. And now they've introduced this, we're not going to get involved if it's not clear and obvious. You've now got people sat there going, yeah, that's wrong, but it's not past the threshold, so we're not going to tell them it's wrong. It's just crazy. But it will come round and it will bite us later on in the season. So I'll take this one and we'll move on.
Where are you going to finish, Kevin?
I think we'll survive. I believe 13th, 14th. I think we're still going to buy a few more listening to Chairman before the game. If we can get Calvert-Lewin fit, I think he's going to be huge. It's a gamble, but if we get him fit, and there's this Noah Okafor, is it, from AC Milan that's rumoured to be close, I don't think Gnonto's good enough, in my opinion.
Kevin... Thank you very much for the call.
Mate, I'm looking forward again.
Enjoy the season,
mate. I can tell you that.
Tom, the Leeds fan's getting a bit of stick. Said the Leeds fan thinks if they play like that, they'll be in Europe. Didn't look like scoring if they'd stayed there for a month. They'll go down with a whimper as they have a 0 threat up front. And Malachi in Belfast says, was Tom on VAR last night? A little bit harsh. So,
I don't care. I've got to bring it up again. The highlight of the morning was, who was it came in and said his arm was in a natural position, but his body was.
Yeah.
That's tickled me for the rest of the day.
Yeah. So for the rest of the day, will your body be in a natural position, i.e. lying down on your bed getting a bit of sleep, or have you got something else in?
I'll be having a kip, there's no doubt about that, at some point today, and then watching my team hopefully get a result against Bruce tonight.
Yeah, go on, give us a prediction then.
Probably heart rolling ahead, 2-1 Rangers.
And would that be good enough?
I would be more than happy with it. I would be ecstatic with it. If you offered me a lead to take over to Belgium next week, I would bite your hand off.
Best of luck to Rangers this evening. I'll see you again next Monday morning. Alan's back with you tomorrow morning.
Absolutely, mate. I've enjoyed it this morning. Great.
Yeah, I have too. That's your one day in the studio.
That'll
this
do
month.
me. I'm going in the huff because I can't see HMS Belfast. That's me. Toys out the pram. There he goes.
There he goes. Thanks very much indeed, Coisty. Thanks for listening. Jim and Simon are next. Let's get one more perspective. Chris is an Arsenal fan. Morning, Chris.
Morning, guys. How you doing, you couple of old dinosaurs?